Welcome to episode 39 of Take Over Tea. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today we are recording from the center of the Rona breakout. Welcome back to the show, Nick.
Thanks for having me, Brody. I'm always happy to be here.
Yeah, it's been, I think I checked you were last on in June, so it's been quite a while now.
Yeah, I think it was right at the end of the last exam period.
That sounds right, yeah.
Or something, or towards the end of the semester.
Yep.
And now it's exam period again.
And I don't have any exams, so I'm happy.
I have two.
What do you got exams for?
So systems architecture and cloud programming.
Wait, isn't cloud more of a test though? Isn't it like on-campus test, or what are they doing now?
So everything's all Zoom, and it's like theory stuff. So it's short answer questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like here is the VM, do a thing, because that was his intention, was to be like, yeah, come into uni, there's a VM set up on your computer, do these things. But now that we have to do it online, he can't verify that everyone's computer is going to be fast enough to be able to do the entire exam in 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because someone might be running it on a potato.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, you just have this short answer question.
Because remember when I did the cloud programming, mine was I think it was just a theory test. I think they had everyone come onto campus. It was the same as an exam, but they did the exam on campus for some reason, which I'm not sure how they got away with doing.
Was it on paper, or was it on like Learn Online?
No, it was on paper.
That's weird.
I think when you walk into the F building, the big room right at the end of the building, like as you walk in the door, like the big lecture hall there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was in that room.
But yeah, F is where I do all my classes, like where I teach all my classes.
Mm-hmm.
So I taught in F116 last semester, and I teach F116, 18, 20, and 22 this semester.
That's the MacLeod, yeah.
Yeah, MacLeod. Fuck those Macs, so hard, dude.
They're getting a bit old now, aren't they?
They're getting a bit old, yeah, and the permissions are all kind of garbage, and they don't have the stuff that we need for our practicals installed on them.
Mm-hmm.
So this semester I'm teaching object-oriented programming.
Yeah.
Which is Python version of the beginner Java course that we did.
Yeah, specifically you're teaching OO in Python, which is not like OO in any other language.
Yeah, correct. It's fucking retarded. I hate it so much. Can I swear?
You can say whatever you want. Just don't say anything that people shouldn't hear.
Okay, yeah, no. I've already planned to change names.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be writing down the names that I choose for people.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just, yeah, OO in Python is just really stupid. It's not how you do it in any other language. You have to like pass self to all the functions that need self, but then if you don't pass self, it still assumes that it needs self unless you put like @static method before the method.
Mm-hmm.
Like self is Python version of this, and there's so many weird things that my students don't understand, and like they weren't really taught. You were just kind of meant to understand.
Is it inheritance that's the really fucked one?
Yeah, you can do multiple inheritance.
Yeah, I just want to bring an example up on the screen for anyone who hasn't seen it. Yeah, let's look at that. Python multi-inheritance.
The normal inheritance is fine. Like instead of doing class, my class, extends the other class, you just put class, my class, and in brackets you put the other class name.
Mm-hmm.
So the actual inheritance like that is fine. But multiple inheritance is yucky.
What is fucking example?
Like, you don't have a reference to super if there's two inheritances.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you try to use super, it just defaults to one of them, and it won't default to the correct one because Python's an untyped language, which means that function calling is really fucking stupid.
Well, okay, no, it is a typed language. It's a duck type language, but it also doesn't care if you just suddenly change types.
Yeah. But yes, like if you're trying to call the super constructor, and like let's say you've got two So say you've got multiple inheritancy.
Mhm.
One initializer for a superclass takes 2 parameters. One initializer for a superclass takes 3.
Yes.
If you do super dot init, which is their like initializer, and you give it 2 parameters, it'll go, whoa, we don't want 2, we want 3. Then if you give it 3 parameters, it'll be like, whoa, we don't want 3, we want 2. So you've got to use like explicitly like class name dot init.
Oh god.
But then it's not like this dot class name dot init. It's just class name dot init. So it seems as though like when you're doing it, it seems as though you're creating a variable of the super type, and so that's what people started to do. People started to, in their multiple inheritancy class, make references to those other classes and instantiate. And I'm like, no, they're abstract classes. You can't instantiate them.
Oh.
Stop.
Python is not an OO language. It's
No, it's
just not an OO language. The OO is a hack.
Yeah.
Honestly, just having that, like, just classes in Python are dumb enough. Like, the underscore, init, underscore. Like, what is that? Literally no other language under the sun does that.
Yeah, because, like, other languages have, like, keywords like public, private, protected.
Or
but no.
If you're going to do, like, a constructor, you're going to name it the same thing as the class.
Yeah. But yeah, so like in Python, like the public, private, and protected is like the underscores. So like 2 underscores before is protected, 2 before and after is private, and then nothing is public.
I'm so happy.
But like, why can't you just write public?
I'm so happy that I got to, like, this is the first time I'll ever say this. I'm so happy I did OO in Java.
I know, it's... I fucking hate teaching this course.
But what I was saying
especially
about... yes?
Especially because this course is taught really weird. So normally, how subjects normally work at Uni SA, week 1, there's no practical. But week 1, there is a lecture. And then week 2, in your practical, you will work on week 1 lecture content.
Yeah.
And then you'll have another lecture in week 2. And in week 3, you'll work on week 2's lecture content.
Oh, no.
It didn't work like that for OOP. Because for OOP, we've got practical, workshop, and tutorial all in the same week. And the week's tutorial is what the week's practical is on. So for students to have the tutorial on a Thursday, but come to my Wednesday practical, they have not watched the tutorial, and they don't know what the fuck is going on. And they'll get to me and they're like, oh, I don't understand this. And I'm like, have you watched this week's tutorial? And I'm like, no. I'm like, well, I don't have time to teach every single student in my class the tutorial content. And I also don't get paid to teach the tutorial content. So go look at the tutorial slides.
That's
and if you need help, then I'll come back to you. But like, just start with watching the tutorial, because that just gives you the answers. Like,
what was the problem with the original setup? Like, nothing. There was nothing wrong with the way they've been doing it this entire time.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why we're doing it in Python instead of Java.
No, not that. I mean, like the fucking weird lecture setup where you don't know what the hell you're doing for that week.
Yeah, it's weird. Like there is no lecture. There's a tutorial instead of a lecture.
Oh, fucking. This class is replacing problem solving and programming, isn't it? Or is
no. Problem solving and programming is first semester, so they're still doing PSP.
Right. Yeah.
And then this is replacing programming fundamentals.
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
So they should have done Python last semester, and then they're coming in to do advanced Python. But
they've forgotten
some
all
of my
of it.
students in like week 1 didn't know what Python was. Like one of my students hadn't actually done the course, and I'm like, how did you get into the course then? Because when you try to enroll in the course, it'll say you don't meet the prerequisites for the course. How did you get in here?
But does it?
Oh yeah, I saw that and I just clicked yes.
Oh god.
What?
I was gonna say maybe the prerequisites just weren't working, and a bunch of people who didn't have them just got into the class. But no, it's there, and people just.
Yeah. But yeah, then people just like forgot the entirety of Python because they're like, oh, I finished my Python course. I don't have to remember it again, which is what I did.
That's the high school mentality. The fucking That's what I'd hate about teaching first years, because there's like the ones who have just come out of high school, they're just gonna still be thinking the exact same way. It's like, oh, I don't need to remember what I did in maths or English last semester. That's not how it works anymore.
But yeah, so there are all these people that like completely forgot what Python is, and like there was just one woman in week 7.
Mm-hmm.
She like pulls me over to her screen and she just like slaps on her screen and like looks at her phone, and I'm like, yeah, and she's like, yeah, I'm done. And I'm like, okay, click the run button, and she's like, what? And just slaps on the screen again, and I'm like, oh my god, there's no run button. She doesn't have Python installed. It's week 7. And so I'm like, okay, you got VS Code open. Go to the store tab. The very top like install on the store tab is Python. Click install. Okay, now go back to your file. Now you have Python installed. Click the run button. Okay, now there's an error. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'm done. And I'm like, no, you're not done. She like looks at her phone still, and I'm like, you have an error. You've got to fix the error before the practical's finished. And so she's like, oh, I don't know how to fix it. I'm like, well, just read the error. It says cannot concatenate int and string. That's like one of the only errors that you were told how to fix last semester. And it's very simple. You can't do int plus string. That int there, just surround it with str bracket bracket. Because that's just the toString in Python.
Yeah, that's actually kind of weird with Python. I've been doing a bit of Python stuff recently, and I actually got tripped up by that. I was like, why can't I just concatenate them? Because everything else you can just do stupid shit in Python, but you can't.
Like they do like automatic type conversion, except for that.
The one thing where you can't type convert, it's like, why? Just like, it's not even like there would be weird behavior that happens. If I do int plus string, just turn it into a string. Or if I do string plus int, does string plus int work or?
No, neither of them work.
Just turn them both into strings. There's nothing weird you have to do there.
Yeah.
Or it could be like JavaScript and just literally
I also don't like how the toString method is a function called str that you've got to pass to the variable. It isn't just like variable dot toString.
Mm-hmm.
And like length as well, like array length is the function len.
Yeah, you pass the object into it or the value into it.
Yeah, instead of just doing like array dot length or dot count.
Well, the string function is less of a toString, more of a constructor.
Yeah.
Which I don't particularly mind.
I just don't like it. Anyway, back to the story. So then, I fixed this one error. Like, yep, you've got connecting an int and a string. Just surround the int with the string. Mm-hmm. Yep, cool. Now I've got that error again. So I fix it again. And she's like, what? I'm like, no, just fix it again. Like, the same thing that you did 2 seconds ago, do that now. And she's like, okay, surround this bit here with str.
Mm-hmm.
She did that, hit run again. And I'm like, you have another kind of int and string. I'm going to let you fix this. I'm going to get back to the other 59 students that are in my class.
Fuck, there's that many people?
Yeah. Jeez. I have 110 students over 3 classes.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's real fun.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like, Python isn't a complex language, that's the thing. And it doesn't sound like they're doing anything super complex in the class anyway. I get struggling with doing it in Java, because Java has fucky syntax, and there's just weird things going on with that language. But mostly...
I would actually prefer it, right? Like, if we had to do OO in Python, I would prefer it if students did Java first and did OO in Java and then came to Python and did it. Because Python like doesn't support you as much as just like Eclipse Java.
Yeah.
Because like Java in Eclipse, you make an error, it'll underline the error, it'll like give you here's how you need to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Python in Visual Studio Code, which is what we use to program now instead of using like idle, it'll just print out the stack trace.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to read the stack trace, and like it's all the same color, it's all red, if you can't read that stack trace and figure out where the error is, you're just staring at it like, yep, that's an error.
Yeah, I understand. That makes sense, because with a stack trace, really the only thing that generally matters is whatever's at the bottom of it. But if you don't know that, or I guess the top, whatever. The last thing in the stack trace. That's the only thing that matters. But if you don't know that, then it's going to be hard to actually work out exactly what's going on.
Yeah, so like I'll like walk up behind a student and they're like, yeah, I've got this weird error, and I'm like, yeah, line 17, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, line 17. It says right in your stack trace there. That's the name of your class.
Yeah, but to be
Line 17,
that
and
is
then it's got
fair.
that error there. And it's like I can see that immediately as soon as I get there, but like they don't know that. They don't have that experience to know that this part of the stack trace is where your code is erroring.
But there are exceptions, and that's one of them. When it says this line number, I see this happened when I was in first year as well. I'd have people coming to me with these sorts of questions, and I would look at the thing and I would say, it literally says the line that it's broken on. Like, I get not being able to read a stack trace, that's fine. But when it's like, I don't know, syntax error line 20, have you considered looking at line 20? Or I guess also plus or minus 1, because sometimes there's a problem on a line and it's causing a problem.
And then it's trying to like add on to the next line or something,
Yeah.
but like a plus symbol on the end of the line, and it's like, oh, this thing isn't a thing that can be added.
Like some with say Java or something, you have a function you're trying to do. If you say forget a curly brace, the error is going to be on the next line.
Yeah, yeah. Curly braces. I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
I've been I just recorded a video yesterday on awk. Awk is a I guess it's a text processing utility, and the syntax is basically C syntax, but also you put everything, like if you want to do any sort of action, the entire thing is around like surrounded in curly braces. So it's basically C with more curly braces, and it's lovely.
But yeah, so many people will be like, oh yeah, I copy and pasted this code from the PDF and it didn't work. I'm like, yeah, because you copy and pasted it from a PDF. Like on the PDF, you can see there very clearly, here is the name of the function, next line down, indented one over, is the code that's inside the function. Look at your code, there's no indentation at all. All of your code is on the far left. It's like Python works by indentation, you've got to tab that over. Or like people will use like one space for the function name, and then like 17 spaces for the code inside the function. And I'm like, can you please just press Shift Alt F? That's the command that automatically indents your file for you. Just please. And
How do you guys
wow, it looks so much easier now.
How do you guys tell them to do indentation? Spaces or tabs?
I wasn't told how to do it. So I'm just saying tabs because tabs is just easy. You don't need to count to 4.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like some of these students, I bet could not count to 4 if I asked them to. So just hit tabs.
Yeah. Personally, what I do, I use spaces, but I have my my tab key convert into spaces.
Oh yeah, VS Code converts it to spaces anyway.
Yeah, I do everything in Vim, but it is good that you're telling them to use VS Code now and not fucking idle like when we did
idle, it. Idle is garbage. I still had students in like week 10 using idle, and I'm like, they're like, oh, I've got this weird error. And I'm like, yeah, go to line 17. So just count 17 lines down from the top of your file.
Literally, anything would be better. Like, you could use Notepad, it would be better. Because I think even regular Notepad, you can enable number lines.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so yeah, I converted so many people to using VS Code over the semester. Like, they were told, like for the first 3 weeks, every tutorial they were told, like, you need to be using Visual Studio Code for this. But yeah, and then like I had one student who had VS Code, and they're like already like a programmer before this. They just came to get the degree.
Okay, that's good.
And they were like, they hadn't done Python though, because they'd done real languages.
Yeah.
And they had fucking Vim keys set up in Visual Studio Code, and they're like, oh, I've got this weird error, and I'm like, oh, it's easy to fix, and I like press left, and I'm like, I didn't do it.
HJK
Can you
now.
navigate it for me? And they're like, yeah, and they're just like pressing those weird key commands, and I'm like, yep, that's how you navigate left and right, sure.
Yep, HJK now. H is left, L is right, J is down, K is up. I might have got those two mixed up. I know in my
Why
head
don't
which way to do it, but
Why don't you just use WASD?
because home row,
Okay.
you want your fingers to be on the home row, and then there's dumb reasons for it, and every key in Vim makes sense. Like Y is for doing copy. Y, so you yank it. P is for doing paste.
Just stop talking. Just.
If you
Anyway.
okay, here there is one thing that doesn't make sense. If you want to undo, you press U. If you want to redo, you press Control R.
Okay, sure. Yep. Okay, so next story that I have listed down on my list of stories to tell
Actually, before we
is
get to
related
that,
to your goon hat.
before we go to that, I was going to say, like 20 minutes ago, I would, if you want to get yourself a cheap Mac, watch the uni in like a year or so when they decide to replace them, because like they did the same thing with when they were replacing a bunch of office chairs as well. I think that was actually, no, that might have been Adelaide Uni. They were like, oh, we have a bunch of office chairs we don't need, and they were just like, fucking take an office chair.
Yeah.
So anyone who is in Adelaide who wants a cheap Mac, just pay attention to Uni SA. They might sell them soon.
I hope they do, because the ones we've got are the really old thick ones.
Mm-hmm. But the fucking you're saying about how you were missing software.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, virtual reality is just as bad. Wait, do you know what actually happened with the VR class? Because
I don't.
Okay, so all of
I was in the VR lab for quite a bit because I was in there with Kung.
So all of the computers were missing. I think we needed Unity 2019.2.0 or something. Yeah, that sounds about right. None of the computers had it. So what happened is none of the computers, or obviously none of the users had admin access. Except the uni security isn't great, so someone might have added admin access to the computer. I'm not going to say who. I might let you know off camera, but he's a tall, lanky dude.
Oh yeah, I know. You don't need to tell me off camera.
Yeah,
I know who this is.
Yeah. So he might have given all of the accounts on the computers their admin access, and yeah, because no one could do their work, and Bruce, he wasn't getting any response from the like IT staff at the uni or anything like that. So this dude was like, "Hey, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it myself." Probably not legal.
I did have to deal with campus support for a while, and it's like, hey, person, can I have the thing that I said I was going to need? It's like, oh yeah, we're working on it. And like a week later, hey, are you still working on it? Like, oh yeah, definitely, yeah, we're still working on it. Like,
did you have anyone in your class who was trying to use PyCharm? Anyone who discovered the loveliness of JetBrains?
Yeah, I like 3 people who use PyCharm.
Okay.
Of the 3 people that use PyCharm, one of them used light mode.
Oh, why?
I don't know. I thought dark mode was default. Like, why would you change that?
I think there's 3 versions of dark mode, and then there's a light mode button after it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I looked over it and I'm like, is that idle? Oh wait, no, that's
just really
it's white, but it's not idle. What?
Anyway, yes, the Goon story.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
Goon story.
I've got an empty can of bourbon here. I'm not
I
drinking. It's 11 a.m. on a Wednesday, so.
I took out my beer bottles before I started recording, so I had several here. But yeah, so the Goon story. So
yes.
Me and my mate Harry, what was it? It was me, Harry, Jake, and Zach all went camping. We went to KI 2 months ago. Just to go have some fun over holidays, and like we all went, set up our tent, and then Harry and Jake went to go because we realized we needed so much more stuff that we didn't bring. We needed like salt and ice and a table and all this stuff that we assumed the campsite would have, and it did not. So me and Zach sat in the tent for like 2 hours because the nearest shop was like an hour away. And then they came back and we sat down and started eating, and Zach pulled out of his bag this bottle of wine, and as he pulled out this bottle of wine, Jake's like, "Oh my god, you brought Kern!" Because Jake works in BWS and Jake knows
Uh-huh.
that specific bottle of wine is $4.
Mm-hmm.
And like the entire trip, like before this, Zach had been like, "Oh yeah, my dad got me one of the wines out of his cellar to bring." So he just stored a $4 bottle of wine in his cellar to give to his son. Fucking great.
Oh,
And then,
do you want to give a shout out to the brand?
oh yeah, Bowler's Run. I had some of this Bowler's Run.
Mm-hmm.
Very fucking like sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yep.
it was less wine and more like just cherries,
Yes.
like cherry juice. But it was good. Tasted good. Um, but yeah, so later that night we cooked up a bunch of burgers and snags and onion and eggs. And this dude was like, he forgot how to speak English because he learns Japanese
Mm-hmm.
and he's very good at Japanese. And yeah, he just kind of forgot how to speak English. And he was like trying to talk to me, and I'm like, yeah, I did Japanese 1A. That doesn't mean I know what you're saying. Like, I know you're saying Nick is, and there's another word after Nick is that I
Mm-hmm.
know is a bad word, but I don't know what that bad word means. And and then he like there was this wooden table that to this day he claimed that wooden table is metal. And he was like, oh, "Bro, that was the softest metal table I've ever slept on." He's like pushing shit off the table to get onto it, and he's like sleeping on it like this. Like, oh, I'm like, "Zach, stop, please! You're gonna knock your bottle of wine over."
Not the $4 bottle of wine. Can't afford it.
No. And yeah, it's like it was the softest metal table I've ever slept on. Definitely wood.
Was he
100%
just
that was a wood table.
drinking the $4 wine?
Yeah.
What a fucking
He he
bitch.
he downed that shit in like half an hour.
It's fine. It's a fucking it's shitty wine. If you're getting drunk off of
He's
that.
also he's also a very small boy. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm tiny, but he weighs like 50 kilos.
Okay,
He's
that's
got like
fair.
no alcohol tolerance.
That's fair.
Yeah. That was a really fun night. We've got this I've got this Snapchat that
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to find and I'll show you. And it's he fell over
Mm-hmm.
and um like he was going back to his tent to go get like his phone or something and just fell over and he was sitting on the ground like ooh. And so I took a photo of it and just captioned it with "spin him"
Oh god.
because there's this funny movie called Archie and Sheepak
That doesn't
where
ring a bell at all.
yeah it's a very shit movie. I doubt anyone listening would know it, but they have a quote in there that's just "spin him." It's like it's something like "I'll come with you as long as you don't spin me." Yeah, sure, boys, spin him. Um, I'll find it later. Anyway,
Yes.
so yeah, he just like forgot English. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh
It's
god.
like saying, "Oh, Nick is like a disgusting man," and I'm like, "Bitch, I'm helping you."
Nick is Kusotori. You are shitbird.
Yeah, it wasn't that, but
No.
yeah, it was
Yep.
funny.
It was funny. It sounds it. I have not had a holiday in so fucking long.
Yeah, I want another holiday. This semester's been so shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard anyone who's actually been happy with the arrangements that we've got because no one's fucking learning anything, and it's just like, oh, hand up the assignments and hand up the assignment. That's all you get this semester. Yeah. And I honestly got to the point where I'm just like, I don't fucking care. For my last couple of assignments, I was just like, I know that I'm gonna pass, so I'll just fucking do minimal effort.
Yeah, I kind of forgot the systems architecture existed because like week 1, 2, 3, and 4, I
Mm-hmm.
went to my tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
I week 1 and 2 watched the start of the lecture on Zoom,
Mm-hmm.
but so I can get up and walk around because I've got a wireless headset, right? I can walk around wherever I want to.
You can do
Yeah, I
that.
don't even need to be in camera view. But the systems architecture teacher had
Yes.
a standing mic on his desk.
Oh
And
no.
he would stand up and he would walk around and he would stand in the corner and talk into the wall and act as if nothing was changing.
Who was teaching that class? Was that's still Wolfgang?
Marcus Stumptner.
Okay.
And yeah, so he would like walk away and we're like, hey Marcus, we can't hear you because it was on Zoom, so we can like text chat. Like, we can't fucking hear you. Your voice is dropping out. And he's like, oh, I don't know why that would be, but like we can actually like hear his hair wheel back.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, just stop standing up. And so yeah, after half an hour of the first lecture, I dropped out, and then after 10 minutes of the second lecture, I dropped out. Never watched a lecture again.
Oh god.
Um, and then yeah, I went to the tutorial, and the tutorial was just taught as if it was a lecture.
Uh-huh.
There were questions on the board, and he was like, "Does anyone want to answer questions? No, good." And then he would give you like a half an hour. He didn't actually say good, but it's like, "No one wants to answer." Okay, half-hour lecture, let's go, and like go through the answers extremely in depth, like more
I
in
love
depth than
that.
anyone would give as an answer to the question. And yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
it was just a lecture too, electric boogaloo. And yeah, so I went to the first four of them.
Mm-hmm.
In the third one, I was like, oh hey, so Marcus, on the course website, you said you may elect to do the assignment as a group. Do we get a different, like, smaller assignment if we do it individually? And he's like, haha, no. You just do the entire assignment, but yourself. And I was like, oh, that's kind of shit. And then one of the guys in the class was like, hey, you looking for a group member? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, I am too. I'm like, sure. Add it on Facebook.
Oh god.
Then next week I rocked up. He wasn't there. I'm like, yeah, there's no point in coming anymore. And I just never went to a tutorial again.
How did the assignment end up going?
Good. So yeah, as I said, I forgot the course existed for a
Mhm.
while. So week 8. So that was week 4. I stopped going to the lecture. Week 2, I stopped week 4 I stopped going to tutorials. Week 2 I stopped watching the lecture.
Mhm.
Week 8 we had an online test.
Mhm.
Week 10 we had a presentation.
Okay.
So week 8, at the end of the week, my group mate Hunter messaged me like, "Hey, remember there's that test online?" I'm like, "Oh, there's a test? Shit." So we got up the test. It was like you had as long as you wanted to actually
Okay,
do the
that's good.
test. It wasn't timed. So I started it on Wednesday and finished it on like Saturday. And I just like Googled all the answers and like
Mhm.
looked through the textbook and was like, "Yeah, this seems fine." Do we have results for that yet? I don't think so. Um, But then yeah, like I think week 10 we had an abstract due. So week 10 we had our abstract.
Okay.
And then week 11, no, week 12, we had a presentation to give
Mhm.
for a report that we hadn't written.
Oh, it's another one of those. I had the exact same thing. For my big data class, I had a report that was due in the final. No, I think it was due in SWOTVAC, and the presentation was due like 2 weeks earlier. Like, and they were both submitted online.
Yeah. But yeah, so we did our presentation, like all we had done on the assignment so far was write the abstract.
Mm-hmm.
So we made a presentation and talked really vaguely. And after the presentation, he was like, "Wow, that was amazing! Thanks, guys. I'm really interested to read your report now." And I'm like, I'm interested to read the report too." And then so yeah, the report was then due week 12, so we wrote it in like a day just
Mm-hmm.
by going and taking the script that we made for the presentation, pasting it,
Mm-hmm.
and changing a few words.
Oh, that's amazing. How long did the report have to be?
It didn't say a length. We did like 1,500 words.
Okay. Probably not
Yeah,
a good amount.
like when I do presentations, I give good presentations.
Sure.
Like I prepare for them so much because I'm like very anxious. If you don't know me, I'm a very anxious person.
Never
So
would have guessed.
I will write 1,000 or 2,000 words in the exact way I'm going to say them,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can read directly off my script, and it is the exact words I'm going to say, and I can prepare those words. I don't need to like improvise at all.
I did the exact opposite when I did my ICT presentation. So, me and Reese, we had our script. What it was the order that we were speaking, and read what's on the slide and improvise. That's all it was. And I think the notes were maybe like 60 words long. And at the end of the presentation, like, wow, that was really good. Like, sure, if you say so. I don't believe you. Also, my supervisor liked it as well, so maybe I did something. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I've just checked, and the week 8 test is not graded yet.
Okay.
That was a month and a half ago. No, wait, even further, because week 8 was the one before the holidays, right? Because we came back to week 9.
Did we?
Yeah, I think it was week 1 to 8, and then 2 weeks break, and then 9, 10.
Okay,
Or maybe it was
right.
1 to 7.
I'm not
So
sure.
I know it wasn't the standard. It wasn't week 1 to 6, 2 weeks break, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 1 to 8 and then 2 weeks break.
I can't remember.
Anyway, Sunday 11th of October was when I submitted it.
Here's a question for you. Do any of your classes still have assignments due?
Yes. ICT.
Okay, yeah, besides that one. I know that one's due because I've got the report still to submit.
Yeah, I still have the report to write. And I've got the... We submitted our design document. What I love about the guy who runs the ICT course this semester, it's his first time running a course.
Andrew is a lad.
And yeah, he's a really good guy, but he keeps giving us extensions at like the last minute.
He does.
Like, the report was due Thursday. No, the report was due Friday. He gave him an extension Thursday morning.
Mm-hmm.
The design document was due Monday 5 p.m. Monday 5:03 p.m. He gave us an extension. 5:03 p.m. 3 minutes after the deadline, he gave us an extension of like 3 days.
Yeah, Andrew is just as bad when it comes to doing the being my supervisor as well. So every week we'd have a meeting with him. He would send us the email about the meeting about 20 minutes before. It's like, mate,
yeah,
we're gonna do this anyway. We have this scheduled at this time. Send it at any earlier point.
Yeah, I will quite often. I have a meeting every Friday with my boss for teaching, and we have a meeting every Friday 1 p.m. I will quite often send him an email at 1:05 and be like, "Hey, are we having a meeting this week? Are we doing it over Zoom? Or am I coming to your office?" And then he would send back an email at like 1:40, like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot." Like, how do you forget? It's in your calendar.
So, when's ICT due? Is that the 23rd? I think it's 23rd now.
I think it's Friday, isn't it? Or Thursday.
I fucking know when it's due. It keeps changing.
Yeah. It was supposed to be due fucking ages ago.
I know. I've had it finished for a while. I'm just waiting for my teammate to actually, since we got this delay, he's like, I'm just gonna wait a while, like, to the due date to actually make my changes. Like, can you not? Can you, like, do it now, please?
Yeah. So the research report is due Monday next week, and the system design document is due...
Yeah.
Oh, it's due now, apparently. Wait, what? Apparently we got a global extension, but it's not actually showing up on my thingo.
Yeah, it says it's due on the 16th here, so 2 days ago.
Yeah, I swear we got a global extension applied to it.
I don't know. Have you submitted yours?
Yeah, we've submitted it. Oh no. So the global extension was applied to. Okay, so my ICT project's really fucked.
Yes.
So we've got 3 people doing ICT project specialist major 2.
Ah, okay.
One person is doing ICT project because they're
Hmm.
only in game design. One of our group members, who is doing Specialist Major 2, didn't do Specialist Major 1, which is me,
Oh,
because I did ICT project last year when I was
ah,
doing the game dev course, and then I transferred into this course, and ICT project was credited towards Specialist Major 1.
yes.
So I don't have access to the Specialist Major 1 course pages, and uh, Jake, who's doing ICT project, doesn't have access to Specialist Majors 1 or 2. And so when we do our submissions are real fucked. So early in the semester, Andrew was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm giving the three of you guys all access to ICT Project
Hmm.
and just do all your submissions on there.
Yeah.
Because he literally couldn't combine us into a group for submissions because we're in separate courses.
Hmm.
Because the submissions were actually different submissions. So he's like, yep, you all have ICT Project. So you're all doing it on there. And so the global extension was applied to ICT Project, but not to ICT Project Specialist Major 2.
So you guys are, by the sounds of it, you're doing a individual report because they actually can. Your supervisor can decide if they want to do a individual or group.
The research report?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the research report we're all doing individually.
Okay. Because yeah, me and
The,
Reese
the,
are
the,
doing
the
4,000
so
words
so
together.
okay, yeah. But you've done your design document on top of that as well, right?
Yeah. We. How long was yours?
Good question.
Because that the markers don't like mine.
They don't like yours because
Yeah,
it's too
because
long.
it's 114 pages.
Whew. Ours is when it loads. Uh,
Last time they were like, "Oh, it's too long," and it was 94 pages. So, so fuck you then. Make it worse.
it's just saying page 1 of 1. Can you please load and
I
tell me how
hope
many
it's more than
pages?
that.
36 pages.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think the average is like 50 or so. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, no. We just gave them because okay. The thing about my project is there was no. We had an existing VR project and it had zero documentation. So
Yeah.
we were like, okay, then I guess we'll document it.
But you're not supposed to do that because the system design document is what you designed. So you should only be.
It's fine.
We got marked down last year because we included a thing saying one of our deliverables was going to be a working server when like the previous group was supposed to do that, even though they
Mhm.
didn't do it.
Well, we got an HD on the design document last time, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
But so it was really weird though, because like, so two of our group members, Jared and Clayton, they worked on a project together last semester,
Mhm.
and now they're working on this one this semester.
Is it a different
But it
project?
was two separate projects.
Uh huh.
So the markers don't like them
Mm.
because we're doing a single semester project as an honors student when you're supposed to
Mm.
do a full year project. So it's really fucking weird.
Well, I'm technically like. I'm technically doing two individual projects. That's the weird thing because the first semester was VR. This semester is multi-touch, and they don't interact with each other at all. It is the same code base, but they're completely different projects with it.
Yeah.
But we can
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
like
bullshit them together.
so like our projects were similar.
Mm.
So like this semester, like we had our group of 4 people, me, Jake, Jared, Clayton. But me and Jake did a VR game,
Mm.
and Jared and Clayton did a volumetric video application.
Okay.
So like using like the Azure Connect, they tried to. The intention was to get 4 cameras set up all in a corner, like in corners of a room, and live stream a person's like rendered body into Unity.
Hmm.
Didn't end up working because the uni is garbage and slow as all shit. And then the program that we were using to do it, EFEVE, never fucking worked. And it took them until like week 13 to send us the tutorials on how to use the software.
Oh. Whew.
And then like when we finally like paid for everything, it was like, oh, license don't work. Do you have an account? Do you want to sign up for an account at this link? Because for some reason, the uni is blocking some kind of a port or something.
Mm.
We never figured out what exactly the issue was, but like they were sending a certificate from their server to our client
Mhm.
that was being blocked. So like the login process went send thing, get receipt, get certificate back, no certificate, you don't have an account. And the only way to fix that was just to connect with our phone's
Mhm.
internet. So every time we wanted to do anything, we had to like disconnect the Ethernet, plug our phone in, use our phone's internet, then unplug our phone, put the internet back in. Because it only required it for the login process, not for
Okay.
like
Yeah.
the general use.
Yep.
And then sometimes, even though we did that, it just didn't work. And then we restarted the computer, and then it just did work.
Fun.
Yeah.
I've said this before, but my project is the easiest project I've actually seen. I'm so happy I got such a bullshit project.
Yeah.
Basically, at the start of the project, Bruce was like, okay, here's this cool project, but you're not doing any of that. Basically, you're code monkeys.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, this semester I'm happy with because I had so much other shit I wanted to do.
Hmm. But yeah, so as well as having all these issues with this program that we're supposed to be using, and like not getting tutorials until the last minute, and half of the program being like not usable anymore because they've changed that functionality to be in a different program. We also had to like order computers through the uni,
Mhm.
and oh my fucking god, is that a nightmare? So before our project started,
Mhm.
we were given a budget write up with all these things we needed to purchase, and we were approved for a budget of $24,000, 83 yeah, sorry, $24,083 and 50
Mhm.
cents. And it was like, yep, these are the exact prices of all these things. But that budgeting thing was made like a year ago.
Mhm.
So all the things that we needed to buy were no longer available from those sources
Oh god.
or stuff like that. So we then went and spent like a week going and redoing the budget list, and we're like, yep, okay, here are all the things you need to buy. Someone please buy them.
Mhm.
So we sent the request off to all the people that needed them. So like all the Dell purchases, because we needed to buy some Alienware PCs. All the Dell purchases go through this person, and all the other purchases go through this person. So yeah, so I sent Caitlin all of the purchases from like Amazon and stuff and all eBay stuff. I'm like, yep, Caitlin, please handle all these. And then I'm gonna change his name. What's Jerry? Jerry is his name. So I sent all these Dell purchases to Jerry. I'm like,
That
Jerry,
makes it
please handle all
funnier
these for
thinking
me.
of the other Jerry.
I don't know who the other Jerry is. So
Um, the uh, the square is a circle. The Chinese lecturer.
I haven't had
Oh,
him.
you haven't had him?
No.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
So yeah. So yeah, I sent all these Dell purchases to Jerry. I'm like, yeah, please handle these. And he was like, okay, I'll do it. And like a week later, I'm like, have you done it? And he's like, yep, I'm still waiting for approval from like this executive group. And I'm like, okay, cool, thank you for doing that for me. And then a week later, I'm like, hey Jerry, have you have you got any updates for me?
No.
And he's like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for approval from this different IT group. It's like, okay, sure. And then he finally like got an like he got all the approval he needed. He got the invoice from Alienware. He's like, just double checking. This is what you want me to. This is what you want me to buy.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yes, I want you to buy that. But my supervisor has just said he wants monitors as well as those because we don't have enough monitors in the lab to support this. So can you add on these 4 monitors? And so it's like, cool. So then we did that. We did that whole 2 week process of getting all the approval from all the different people at uni,
Mhm.
and then getting an invoice back. And I'm like, yep, buy them, please. And then it took like 4 weeks for Alienware to even send the PCs to us. And the
Mhm.
PCs got to uni, and he had to install all the like uni required software and all the like uni Windows 10 builds on there. And then we got them and was like, yep, They work now. We turned them on. BSOD. We restarted them. BSOD. It's like, what do you mean they work? They won't turn on. Um, so yeah, it ended up being something wrong with like a keyboard driver that was on
Sure.
the
Okay.
image, and so they came and they fixed that. They still one of them works perfectly fine. We ordered two PCs and a laptop. One of the PCs works perfectly fine.
Mhm.
One of the PCs sometimes BSODs, but not every day. They used to do it every day, multiple times a day. Now this one does like once a week. And the laptop, oh my god. It it doesn't BSOD anymore,
Mhm.
but what's really annoying is you can't set a Windows Hello pin. Like
Mhm.
the computers that I have been using in the lab, you can set a Windows Hello pin for it. So I can put in my staff account username and password, and then set the Windows Hello pin to 142563. And I'm like, hey guys, this is the pin for the computer.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what the
Nope.
hell is a Windows Hello pin? Because I don't use Windows.
So essentially you put in username and password, and then you set a different pin so you can give
Ah,
up the
okay.
pin to someone else, or like you don't have to type in your like full 25 character pin, and it's only ever stored on your PC. It's not sent to the cloud or anything.
Okay, makes sense.
So yeah, people can't like hack into your Windows account and get your PIN. But yeah, so that's what I did last semester. Is I logged in with my account to the computer and gave everyone my PIN, and
Mhm.
it worked fine. But no, I had to change my password for my staff account, and
Mhm.
then give everyone my password for my staff account, and be like,
Oh.
please don't log into my email account and email my students, or like log into my Learn Online and grade my students and give them all
Or
fails.
my banking information and change that or anything like that.
Oh yeah, but this is only my staff uni account. It
Right,
wasn't
but
like
it's gonna have your payment information in there as well.
yeah. All I had on there was yeah. Technically, if they logged into my staff, if they logged into my like staff web
There you
page
go to the
on
staff
the
portal, you
website,
can change it from there.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, they didn't do anything of
They
that.
didn't. That's
So
good that you know of.
that I know of yet.
Maybe they've
I will find
installed
out soon.
something and you just don't know about it.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really fun.
How many weeks did that whole process take in total?
We got our PCs in week 8.
And they were working. Is that like when they were all working or working?
No, they were all working in week 9.
Okay.
Like at the end of week 9.
And for
Um,
people who don't know how long a uni essay semester is, just let them know.
13 weeks. So we had 1 month to do our project.
So do a 13-week
From the
project.
point, yeah, to do our 13-week project, from the point that we actually had hardware that
Mhm.
could actually run the software that we purchased. And like by that point, the 1 month software license that we'd purchased had expired. And the software that we were using was from a small indie company in the UK.
Mhm.
So whenever we needed anything, we would email them
Mhm.
in our time, and then like 10 p.m. they would email back, and then we would wake up and be like, the email fucking lied to me, because it's like when we're trying to get this thing to work, it was like, oh yeah, you can't log in because you don't have an account. And so I emailed them like, hey, we don't have an account. Can you fix it? And he's like, oh yeah, just run it as administrator. I'm like, oh, seems fine. When I get into the lab tomorrow, I'll run it as administrator. Run it as administrator. Same problem. Hey, I ran it as administrator and it didn't work. Oh, easy fix for that. Run it as administrator. And this went on for like 3 days straight until I sent them a video of me right clicking the icon, clicking run as administrator. It didn't work. And then they're like, oh, there's an actual problem. Okay, let me team viewer in and check what the problem is. So they team viewed in. They like pressed whatever the console button was to get the console up in the application, and we're like, oh yeah, the certificate isn't being returned. Yeah, I know how to fix that. And then they disconnect from the team viewer and like, yeah, I'll investigate it for you. Have not heard back from that person. That was like week 8, I think that we. Oh no, it was even before that because we were trying to do this on like our shit computer before we got our actual computers. This was like week 6. Week 6, he was like, "Yeah, I'll investigate that for you." Haven't heard back from him.
Doesn't surprise me. So
Small indie company that charge like $8,000 a year for their software that doesn't work.
Jesus Christ. So up until that point, were you just mainly doing the like design document and stuff?
No, as I said before, so Jake and me were working on a VR game, and Clayton and Jared were working on a volumetric video thing.
Right.
So this software we needed was for the volumetric video project. So they were investigating like alternatives. So instead of using this program, they were going to use like DepthKit, which is like a free tool that can only handle one camera, but it does really good stuff with one camera. But we wanted to do multi-camera setup, so they were investigating like there were like some Unity packages that could support 2 cameras in Unity, but then you couldn't really do anything with them. You could just view the footage. You couldn't record. You couldn't change anything. And the like stitching was terrible because when you got 2 cameras combining their footage, like the midpoint of a person is like really fucking jagged. It's garbage. So yeah, they were just doing stuff like that, trying to figure out how to fix all that, but they couldn't fix it because it was still just bad. And while they were doing that, me and Jake were making an actual game.
Okay.
It looked pretty fucking good at the end of it.
So it was you actually got something that was a reasonable product, unlike what I end up having.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was kind of a shit like concept. It was like so last year, my project was, hey, firefighters suffer from PTSD. Fix it.
Fix it. Mushrooms.
Yeah. That was like our entire like spec. It was like, yeah, PTSD exists. Do something in VR to fix it with this HoloLens we've given you. And it was like they didn't really say whether they wanted us to treat PTSD patients or like figure out who has the predisposed like effects to have PTSD. It was
Or
just
make
kind of
it
fix it.
worse.
Yeah. And so we did the best we could. And at the end of it, Ross gave me a job like to continue the project as an internship over 10 weeks. And I'm like, I hate this project with all my heart, but if you're gonna give me money, I guess I'm going to accept it. And then while I was on the internship, he was like, "Hey, you've finished your degree now. You should do honors." And I was like, "No, I don't want to do honors." Like but you should do honors though. I'm like, "No, why? That's stupid. I'd have to write like a fucking 10,000 word research report if I did honors." And he's like, "Well, no, technically you don't have to. If you do honors, you can do this thing. If you do software engineering, then you can blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Oh, I guess if you need me to, I guess I have to do it. But I'm only gonna do it if I get to make a video game for my project." And he's like, "A video game? Easy. I can sort that out." And then I got to um the start of the semester when I got the email from Andrew being like, "Here is your project, VR gamification project." And I'm like, VR gamification project sounds very similar to the PTSD project that I worked on last semester. Please, God, tell me I'm not redoing that project. They're like, "No, you're making a game." I'm like, "I'm making a VR game for my project? A VR rehabilitation game that uses breathing to rehabilitate people that have been in trauma."
Oh, fucking hell.
Like, what do you mean? I thought we talked about this, Ross. I hate mental health, please.
But hey, it's a
I have
game.
no idea. Yeah, it's just like, hey, people, when they experience physical or mental trauma, feel a disconnect with their real body. Fix it by using breathing. I don't like it. I really don't like
I
it.
couldn't tell.
Then we had to figure out how to cure trauma. It's just last year, but again.
I was gonna say that Ross sounds like a bit of a lad, and then you told me that, and I kind of take back what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's a good guy, but he really likes curing trauma, but also causing trauma to me.
Hey, maybe you can build a project for yourself then.
No,
No.
no, I don't want to do it.
Look, we're done now, so... Well, the report still needs to be submitted.
I'm not done.
Are you gonna have to keep doing it in the internship?
I have a job to continue the project.
Oh...
I want to die.
Is that a...
But hey,
I know UniSA likes to do a lot of contract work. Is that a contract, or is that, like, more full-time or something?
it's a contract. So last year when I did it, it was as a intern.
Mm-hmm.
So I got $10 an hour for 300 hours. This semester, this time that I'm doing it, I'm actually a research assistant.
Oh,
So instead of getting $10 an hour,
I know how much
I
you get.
get $45
Yup.
an hour.
Research assistant is a fucking lucrative position.
Yeah. Yeah, and so yeah, I'm just combining the project that we made with a project that another student made,
Mm-hmm.
which is like a pain museum. It's like it's like a museum of all these different like body parts, and then you go into each room, and it's like, oh yeah, these are all the things that you can experience, and like these are the ways that you get around it. Yeah, helping people come to terms with their body, but like I really don't give a fucking shit. I don't know what mental health is. I don't know how to fix mental health problems.
an hour.
But it's $45 an hour.
Yeah, when I did my position with Wolfgang, when I was doing that bullshit web dev job, where I didn't know React and they wanted me to build a website with React, yeah, I was doing the same thing. It's so fucking good. Because I was doing 20 hours a week for $45 an hour. My tax bill was massive that year, but holy crap. That built up my savings so much.
Oh, talking about savings, I kind of read my contract wrong for teaching,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot an entire line in my contract. Because my contract has 9 lines.
Uh-huh.
So each line is a different thing I get paid for. So like the first 3 lines are like the first class I teach, the second class I teach, and the third class I teach. Because I have 3 classes on Wednesdays, 9 to 11, 12 to 2, 3 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
So each of those is a separate line. Got 9 lines. Some of them are like assignment marking, exam marking, assignment 2 marking, all that. And there's one line that is continuous assessment, which I got to the end of week 12 and I'm like, what the fuck is continuous assessment? So I called up the campus support and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And they're like, oh, that's for marking practicals. And I'm like, but I mark the practicals in the practicals when I'm teaching them. So you're telling me for each practical, like for each day that I do a practical, I get paid 6 hours to teach practicals. And then on top of that, I get paid 7.5 hours to mark the practicals that I just taught. Yes, I do. And I get paid the same rate of like $47 an hour to teach, and then $47 an hour to mark. I think I ended up working it out to like, because I get paid like 7.5 hours for some reason instead of 6 hours for doing the
Sure.
marking. I get paid $107 an hour to teach first years. But I forgot to claim all my hours until now. So I'm claiming literally half of my entire job,
Uh-huh.
like 3.5 grand. I'm claiming all at once. So when that paycheck comes in, well, boy.
Well, okay, no, you don't miss out on like a third of it for now.
Why would I miss out on a third of it?
Because it's gonna go into your
Oh,
fucking
tax.
taxes. You get like
Yeah.
$2,000 from it.
Yeah.
But still, it's a big chunk.
A big chunk to just all get at once.
Oh my
And yeah, I'm
god.
like, why do I get paid so much? Like, I like it. I like being paid $107 an hour, but like, why?
Okay, let's just for the fun of it, let's just work out what $107 an hour would be at like doing full time work.
Oh
Um,
yeah, yeah. Like my brother was like really pissed off at me that I was getting that much, and like he's a baker and he works like 50 hours a week, and it's like, ooh, I only get this much money per week, and I'm like, yeah, but I teach 13 weeks a year.
okay,
It's
so
like,
yeah, what you say?
yeah. So I teach like 13 weeks a year. So like my yearly revenue would be actually no, 13 weeks a semester, so 26 weeks a year. So I only work like half of the year, and I'm
Mhm.
still getting I'll be getting paid like garbage because I get paid $107 an hour, but 6 hours a week.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of money for the work that I put in, but it's just not a lot of money all up. I couldn't make my full time job doing 6 hours a
I
week.
think you could at $107 an hour,
Yeah, but 6 hours a week though, like
mate. I live off like 300 and something. Like that's fine. You'll be good.
yeah,
Anyway, at full time, that would be $4,280 a week, not a month, a week. A month that would obviously be like 16-ish thousand. So if we just times this value by 52, that would be $222,560 a year if you're doing full time.
yeah, sounds good.
So you'd pay like $100,000 in tax.
Yeah,
Fucking hell. Yeah, I'd like
but
that
yeah.
much. That'd be nice.
Given the option, I wouldn't teach first years again though,
Well, they do sound a bit dumb.
because first years are a bit stupid. But like my second year that I taught last semester were fine.
Hmm. What were you teaching there? Was that
IDI. It was
yes, I die.
interface design, interaction, and experience, which is the Java effects course. And like that was easy enough. Like my students already knew Java coming into the course, and it was just this weird Java library they had to learn. And like my practicals then were just you guys have a group assignment to work on it in my class.
Well,
If you have
you
any questions
mean
about the group assignment.
they had 10 weeks to do the report and then 3 weeks to learn the library?
Well, it was a bit different for us. It was 6
Okay.
weeks for the report and then 6 for
Okay,
program.
that makes sense.
But yeah, it was like you guys have a group assignment, work on the assignment. I am here if you have questions. But the practicals that I'm teaching now are you have code to write by yourself. You're allowed to talk to your friends, but just write your code, and they like just can't.
Yeah,
like,
I hate
they
those
will like
practicals.
line up behind me, and I will give one person the solution, and no one else in the huge lineup will listen to that solution.
Have you considered
1
just
week?
talking in front of the class?
Yeah, I considered it, but like, I teach over like 3 rooms, and so people just don't listen.
Yeah, no surprise.
But yeah, it was like, and it's like everyone like spreads themselves out, kind of. So like, I'll be like, okay, if you guys need help fixing this issue, come here now, and I'll fix it for everyone. And then at the end of the class, like an hour and a half later, someone would be like, hey, I have this weird issue, and I'm like, yeah, I fixed that for everyone else earlier in the class. What do you need? But yeah, so you know, how I was saying way back at the start of this that the Mac pools were missing software.
Yes.
So they were missing Visual Studio Code on some of them.
Oh god.
But some of them, even though they had VS Code, like they didn't have the Python libraries that we needed installed. And installing the libraries was really fucky because like when they installed Python onto the Macs, they didn't install Python with pip, which is the command line
Yes,
Python installer.
that's the package manager.
Yeah. So we had to like there was this command that was like 100 characters long in the PDF that you had to copy and paste
Mm-hmm.
and then change the your ID here to your ID. And then hit enter. And so many people, it was like your ID here in triangle brackets. People didn't remove the triangle brackets. It's a path to your local files. What do you mean you didn't remove the angle brackets?
To be fair, the angle brackets did confuse me when I was in first year.
Yeah.
This is why, like, when I do tutorial content, I never put in angle brackets because I know someone's going to leave them in there. Just put in, like, if it's say ID here, just put in ID here, and then at least if you replace that part, it's going to work fine.
Yeah. But yeah, so there was like that, and then you had to go and so that was if you were on the Mac pools, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to do that, and you had to type like pip install iContract, and then it kind of worked. As long as you only had one version of Python installed. If you had multiple versions of Python installed, good luck trying to figure out which one it was going to install to, and which one was going to run when you execute your file. So all these fuck arounds we had to do to get that to work. And then there was a different fuck around for people that were on Windows. So if you type pip install iContract, and then it just works. It's like, yep, successfully installed. Then you hit run. For some people, it just would be like, iContract not installed. I was like, because when you type pip into the command line, it doesn't use the currently selected Python version. It will automatically choose a version of Python. So if you're not using that version to run, get fucked.
What version of Python were you guys actually using for the course?
We were using 3.9.
Okay.
But people had 3.9 32-bit and 3.9 64-bit installed, because it default installs both of them if you let it install both of them, it installs both of them. But then some people also had 3.8.5 and 3.6, then 2.7. So what we had to do was you had to go find the actual Python exe, copy it as a path, paste the full path in -m pip install iContract, and it would work. But and it's the course coordinator didn't test all of this stuff before the prac started. So the prac started at 9 a.m. and these people started having errors, and I'm like, oh dear lord, this just worked for me. I did this yesterday, and it just worked for me, so I didn't even think that there could be errors. And the course coordinator didn't think of that either. So
no surprises there.
Yeah, that was really fun. But yeah, also with this course, what's really fun is I have been teaching myself the course because this is a brand new course started this semester. No one has done it yet. And my qualifications for teaching this course are the same as the qualifications for the students taking the course, which is that I did PSP. So I'm teaching myself each week practical content by looking at the practical. Yeah, that's it. I look at the practical and it's like, hey, you need to make a class called this. And so I make a class called that. Done. You make this function. I made this function. And then you need to do this weird type conversion thing. As I go on Google, how to type convert Python. Yep, that's how you do it. Cool.
But you're also not a brainlet who understands how to use Google.
Yeah. So many of my students, every single error they had, they could have Googled.
Well, yeah, when it's something like cannot concatenate string and int, literally take that error, the first thing you see will be someone saying that on Stack Overflow.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know why they don't just do that. Um, but yeah, so I taught myself the practical content Tuesday night at like 11 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Then Wednesday morning 9 a.m. I would teach the content.
Well, here's the thing about teaching. Something that I've learned is you only need to know more than the people you're teaching.
Yeah. But yeah, like some of my students would like come to class with like these weird solutions, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, you're using like there was this like explicit duck typing stuff you could do,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm like, that wasn't in the practical, so I don't know what the fuck that is. So please delete it.
Have you
I
had
don't like looking at it.
Have you had anyone who's actually like out of any of your students who actually knew Python already and is just doing stupid solutions just to fuck with you?
As far as I know, no.
Okay.
But one of my students, this is gonna have to be another rename that I'm gonna type in. I'm gonna call this guy Jimmy.
Because Jai
So
did the same
Jimmy,
thing back when we had the JavaScript course, the web development course. Because he'd already done JavaScript, he'd do these fucking dumbass solutions just because lol, why not?
yeah. So Jimmy, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I would walk up to this kid and be like, "Okay, Jimmy, what have you? Oh dear God, what are you doing?" He's like, "It technically works," and I'm like, "No, it doesn't.
Oh,
It
no.
runs. It doesn't run your function because you've used the wrong name for the function.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, it executes your code, but not all of the code."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, or like one day he showed me his code, and it's like his code is blue and white.
Mm-hmm.
If you've used Python in VS Code, you know that your code is blue, white, green, yellow, orange. He didn't have syntax highlighting for some reason. All he had was blue for like class names, and everything else was white. I was like, how do you fuck up this bad? And like sometimes I would sit down next to him, look at his code, and I would just fucking walk away and like, oh my God, this I am like all right friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
We talk on Discord every now and then. I at him in the AGPU Discord and call him out on his garbage programming. But yeah, it's like his code is fucking disgusting.
Fun times. I actually do have two viewers that are at uni essays, so maybe one of them knows who Jimmy is.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, I also got students that are like they like really I know that they don't understand what they're doing, but they're trying. And like week 8, actually no, so I only taught like week 1 to 7, and then 8, 9 were done with like design studios for a different course, so they didn't even have Python for those weeks or for holidays. So when we got back and started doing classes again, I was like, please, dear God, I was making progress with Jeremy.
Sure.
Yeah, so I was making progress with Jeremy in like week 7, and like he started understanding what I was saying. When I said make a variable called my string, he would type self.mystring equals, and then he would type quotes and this is a string. And then we got back to week 10 when we started again, and I said make a variable called my string, and he goes, what? And I'm like, no, I thought we were doing good.
Have you been writing down like who each of your fake names equals?
Yeah, so I've got Jeremy, Jimmy, and I've got Jerry, Jimmy, and Jeremy.
I only just noticed that you've been every time you'd say a new name, you just went and typed something. Just so you keep your stories straight.
Yeah, so that I know if I'm talking about Jeremy, I know who that is. talking about Jimmy. Oh, fuck Jimmy. Hmm?
That's too much effort.
Yeah, well, I don't want to like out them.
Well, you could just give them different fake names.
That's what I'm doing.
No, I mean like every time you mention them in a story.
But then Jimmy seems less dumb than he is.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, you want to make sure everyone knows that you're specifically talking about Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. That's
Fuck.
fine.
But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, like I've got a lot of students. I had this one student. I am gonna out this student, Drew Hutton. I love that boy. Drew Hutton comes to my classes with the practical finished, and then he helps the rest of the class
Oh, it's one of
finish the
those
practical.
people.
He like he's essentially like an extra teacher. Like I'll walk up to him, and he's got a line of students behind him, and I've got a line of students behind me, and like or like we'll just be talking, and like everyone's like just doing their work. We'll just be chatting about things and stuff. And a student would come up to him and ask for help, and I'm like, "Excuse me, sorry, I'm the teacher here. Come to me, not him."
I'm the one getting paid $107 an hour.
Exactly.
Oh. Yeah, I was for what 1 year I did that, and then I realized, wait, I'm not getting paid enough to do this, and I just leave.
Yeah.
So I can't expect him to keep doing that.
Yeah, well, I told the course coordinator about it, and I'm like, this boy is so good, so smart. Like, is there any extra credit I can give him? Because like he's done so much work for me, he's taken so much stress off my shoulders.
Mhm.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I can recommend him for becoming a tutor for the course."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So like I've told him like I'll recommend him for pass if he wants to be a pass tutor, and the course coordinator will give him recommendations for like actually teaching the course next year or whatever. So like, yeah, but
That's
this
awesome.
dude.
'Cause I think the same thing happened with Jai as well with PSP.
Oh yeah.
Because I think, yeah, at the time he was already doing his Django work.
Oh
So
yeah.
he already obviously knew Python. Yeah,
Yeah, he was working at the bank, right? Westpac.
yeah, at the time. Oh, no. No, yeah, he was still doing. No, maybe he didn't know. No, he wasn't doing Django stuff then if he was still at Westpac. Because he was doing VB stuff back then.
Maybe it was second year he was at Westpac.
Because eventually he got himself to Study Link, and that's when he started doing Django stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. No, I think that must have been second year then, because I
Mhm.
know he was. I know he did move from Westpac to StudyLink.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's been like an hour 20 of you just ranting about your students.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted to do today. Rant about students. I rant about my students so much, which is why I like dislike it that some of my students are part of AGPU.
Mhm.
Because I'll like finish a class, I'll kick down the door of AGPU. I'm like, hey guys, my students are in the room. Okay.
Start a new club. Better club.
Yeah. But yeah, nah, like the students that go in there, like are Jimmy. Jimmy goes in there. And I'd be like, hey guys, I had this really dumb student today, and I like glare at Jimmy. And he's like, it wasn't that bad today, okay? Last week was worse. I'm like, yeah, you're technically correct, Jimmy. Fuck, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds fun and really shit at the same time.
Yeah. But yeah, students give me like feedback because I'm a teacher.
Oh
They give me
yeah,
feedback at the end.
feedback's a thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so I was like too scared to look at my feedback last semester because I failed so many fucking students last semester. Because so many students, like all like the Indian and Asian students, like handed up absolute dog shit code. And like their interfaces were ugly as fuck. And or like they were just copied straight off the internet. So I failed a lot of students that semester.
Mm.
So I was so scared of looking at my stuff like, oh, my teacher didn't teach me anything. Um, but I looked at it the other day and it was so good. Like think I had 10 very positive and one positive feedback.
What's the This is something I've been curious about. What actually is like the general feedback rate?
So I had 11 students out of 60 last semester.
Okay.
I'll go look at them now for this semester. But yeah, this semester, yeah, a little bit worse. So I think when I looked at it, I had 10 feedbacks and like 3 of them were negative. And as opposed to the like 10 very positive and 1 positive
How
from last
negative?
semester. Like so each of the questions you answer, you go like strongly disagree, disagree, neutral, agree, strongly agree. And I got like two disagree, 1 strongly disagree.
Ooh.
Do you have an OBS set up for screen sharing?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's a picture, then I can do. What? Oh, are you gonna do it with your?
I was just gonna screen share my my feedback.
Oh yeah, no.
It's all anonymous.
Yeah, because
so...
it'll replace your webcam, so that's fine.
Okay. I just got to remember how to actually get into
Hopefully.
it. What's this course? Comp 1046.
Either that or it's gonna break everything.
Evaluations. Open my course experience. Also, what I love about the UniSA websites is like all the websites are different websites. So you've got to like put your passwords back in whenever you change websites.
It's great, isn't it?
Yep. And imagine being a student and a staff member at the same time.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Cookies. What are cookies?
If it does keep your webcam here, just disable the webcam. That should take your spot.
Okay, let's
Yeah, okay, it's gonna take your spot, so just disable the webcam.
Okay.
Okay, didn't fix anything.
Now you've just got deep fried Nick.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this one here, and we're going to. Oh god, this is a fucking dumb idea. Can I? I can't fix it. Oh wait, no, I'm pressing the wrong button. That's why. Okay, I think we've got something now. Yeah, this. Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, you can show stuff now.
All right. So yeah, this are my responses. So it's like, people were satisfied with me as a teacher, but then like, yeah, I didn't support their learning. One student said I didn't help them understand the key concepts of the course, and yeah, I didn't make the course interesting. One person was strongly against that. One person was against that. But then it's like, yeah, how could the staff member improve their teaching? Don't spend too much time on individual students. I had to, because the individual students that I was with didn't know what a Python was. People waited for a full hour to get the attention they needed. Stand up and line up behind me like everyone else did. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. But yeah, and then I got these nice ones. Like, Nick's very intelligent and explains concepts well. He's very helpful, and I feel he wants me to do well. Friendly guy and makes class comfortable for me. Like, oh.
Yeah, I guess most people probably just don't bother with feedback. It's either if it's really bad or really good.
Yeah.
That seems fair.
Like, I like looking at the positive ones. The negative ones, I'm just kind of like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you do YouTube stuff, you just get these negative comments all of the time, so you kind of get used to it. That's my suggestion. Make YouTube videos. And you get used to people being douches.
Yeah. I feel like since I've started teaching, I've gotten a lot better at speaking publicly.
Yes.
Because I used to get really, really like anxious. Now I don't really fucking care.
Yeah, well, you're speaking more publicly, so obviously you're going to get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I went into my first class before I die, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna hate me. I'm gonna stutter constantly. Oh. And then I went to my first class at OOP, and I'm like, fucking, I gotta do this again? Really?
Hmm.
It was kind of more of an annoyance that I have to talk over, like, oh no, I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing.
Well, I think it's a bit harder to see with you because the practicals aren't recorded, but I've gone back and I notice how much I fuck up with my current content, but when I go back and look at like how I was a year or so ago, I realize how much worse I was back then. And once you actually take notice of that, you realize, oh, yeah, actually trying to improve this tiny little bit each time as you go on, that's going to make massive improvements. And like with you actually trying to speak publicly, you're going to get better at it, even if it feels like when you get to a point where you have to actually do something public, that it's not any better at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like when I had to give presentations for like ICT project and for cloud and for systems architecture, like I prepared like hell before the presentation because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna be so anxious. Then I got into it and I was perfectly fine. Like I read off my script, it was easy. Like I just kind of I'm still in the mindset that it's hard, even though
Mhm.
it isn't.
The nice thing about the presentations this year is none of mine were in person, except the first ICT presentation I had.
So they were all online on Zoom,
Yep.
and we had to screen share our presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But I have two monitors. So we did this great little cheat,
Mm-hmm.
which was I screen shared my second monitor that had the presentation on it to the Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
I screen shared my main monitor, which had the presenter mode, to like my Discord mates. We all like watched my stream, and I went through the slides,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had the presenter notes section of PowerPoint, which has our entire script in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we can just read off the entire script, hit next, and the Zoom call is none the wiser because there's no cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm staring directly at the notes, reading line for line my script, and then next slide.
Oh, it made the presentations an absolute joke, but it made them so easy.
Yeah, yeah.
I would have hated to do all those presentations I had to do because I think the last ICT one was like 15 minutes or something stupid.
Yeah, it was 10 to 15 minutes.
Now, 15 minutes
I
is
think we got in ours. So we did two separate ones
yep.
because our project and the other project. But
How
we
did
did
that
12
work?
minutes for ours. Yeah, it didn't really work. So, because we made a game and they tried to make a piece of software, and so
Uh-huh.
we presented our software and we presented our game and they presented their like solution.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so we did like a 12-minute presentation, and they did like a 14-minute, 58-second presentation. It was like right in on the edge of the time.
At least they didn't try to make you like merge it all together into one presentation.
They wanted us to, and I was like, we did two separate projects though, so like, can we not do that, please?
Why were you in the same group then?
The intention was at the end we would combine the two, so
Ah.
we would eventually have a rehabilitation game that a doctor could live stream their actual body into and talk to the patient while they're being rehabilitated.
Okay.
But it didn't end up working because the fucking all the issues that we mentioned before
Mm.
about the uni being slow and the program not working.
Yeah. Hmm. That's actually a cool idea, but it honestly anything more complex than like something like I did is gonna fall apart.
Yeah, I don't know why they expect like people that haven't touched any of this kind of tech before to make a fully in-depth working thing. Like we hadn't dealt with even putting a webcam into Unity
Mm-hmm.
yet, and they wanted us to do like rendering your entire body using 4 different cameras,
Yeah, yeah.
and like they're fucking depth-based cameras which output really weird shit.
at least with mine, a lot of it was, even though I'd never done VR stuff before, most of what I was doing was standard VR sort of interactions. So it was like, add teleportation, add a laser pointer, I have VR user interfaces, things like that. Things that, even though for my exact project, there's nothing for, it's still a standard component, or still a standard idea, and you can sort of adapt it to what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Ours was very, very non-standard. It was all like weird things that you
All very
wouldn't.
researchy.
Yeah, and like you couldn't just Google it and be like, oh yeah, this person's used this camera before.
How do I
It's
add
like this
three
like
depth cameras
kind
into Unity?
it's kind of like bleeding edge technology. So no one's really made full in-depth guides on how to do anything with it yet. So I can't just like look it up. I have to experiment constantly.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
Oh.
indeed.
So, your sleep seems to be a little bit fucked, because you said you were having breakfast just before we started recording.
What?
It was
But
11 a.m.
You don't have breakfast
No,
at
I
like
don't-
10:50?
No, I don't have breakfast at 10:50.
I had breakfast at like 1 yesterday.
PM, yeah?
Yes. I told my mate the other day that I woke up at 1 and he was like, "Oh, bro, that's so shit. You wake up at 1?" And I'm like, "Yeah, PM." And he's like, "Oh, PM. What the fuck?" But yeah. So I just when I'm not doing uni or something that I have to be up at 9 a.m. for
Mhm.
every day, I just sleep until I want to get up, and I don't ever want to get up because life is so trash. Why would I want to leave the comfort of my bed?
I don't know, because if you want to do things during your day,
Like what?
I don't know.
Play video games.
Yeah,
Oh, I
video games.
forgot. Yeah.
Your video games, yay! I still haven't
Yeah,
played anything in a while.
Yeah.
Some
Like
point.
right before I started teaching, I was getting up at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon every day, and going to bed at 2 or 3 a.m.
Wait. I'm sorry. You slept for 12 hours?
Yeah, it was. I had never slept that well. It was so good.
I bet, yeah. Probably would be, but you're also fucking wasting literally half of your day.
Yeah, I know. I would like wake up and mum would be getting home from work. And she was like, "Oh, so how was your day?" And I'm like, "No, my day hasn't been yet. I haven't had breakfast yet."
Oh, God. See, I could get what Kenley did. Kenley would fucking have his, like, time zone flipped upside down. He'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just waking up at 6 p.m., but he stays up till, like, 6 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
Like, 8 a.m. or whatever. Like, he would spend his entire day, but it'd be his night.
Yeah. But nah, I would just sleep half the day. It was good. But then I started teaching, and then I had to get up at 7 a.m. because I have to take the hour-and-a-half bus to uni, and I start teaching at 9 a.m. So that was fun.
So what you're saying is, as soon as like assignment marking and classes and everything's all done, you're gonna just let it slip back into 2 p.m.
I've already started getting up at 1 p.m. Like I had to set an alarm this morning in order to be up before 1.
You know we could have just set the podcast at 1 p.m.
Yeah, but then I also have to talk to my other boss.
That's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. Now for me, I am in bed at 12 a.m. and I'm up at 8 a.m. every day, except when I stand outside of work ranting about my boss until 2 in the morning, and then I'm up a bit later because my new fucking boss is shit, and he thinks I'm his best friend as well, which is also fun because he'll tell me managery things and like talk shit about the staff. I'm like, mate, I want to fucking deck you. Stop fucking talking to me.
Yeah. I had friends like that at Big Dub. I have taken this entire semester off Big Dub, so I haven't been there
Oh, so you are
since
still
like
working there?
I'm still working there technically, but
Mhm.
yeah, I just haven't had a shift since like August
Okay, that makes sense.
or even probably earlier than August.
I'm sure you're not missing it with $107 an hour.
Oh yeah, like I kind of want to go back because I don't want to fucking deal with students anymore, but I also like don't want to go to like $20 an hour. It's really like tough decision.
Oh, would you be working during the day?
At Big W, I'd be working at night.
Oh, what's more than
I,
20
I,
an hour? It's
I,
like 25.
yeah, probably, but like 25 or like 45 normally or
Yeah.
100 is what I'm on now. Like, and also like when I am at Big W, I like have to like bust my guts,
Mm.
like running constantly, always on the forklift, always getting shit down for customers, always like rewrapping pallets and sprinting around the pallet with the wrap.
This is where you fucked up. You need to be doing night fill over at Coles, because we're chill as hell.
We are not chill as hell on night fill at Big Dub. Like, Big Dub is getting budget cuts constantly,
Mm-hmm.
so we need to be constantly getting faster and faster.
Yeah, the new manager's like, oh, so he came in first day. He was like, okay, so you know how we're doing? I think pallets were taking an hour or something. He's like, okay, cut 15 minutes off of that, and everyone's like, no, because we were getting everything done.
Wait, how many people do you take to do a pallet in an hour?
It's one person,
Oh,
yeah, for an
okay.
hour. But that's also including like taking the pallet in and out of the back as well.
Yeah.
So that adds an extra like 5 or so minutes. Plus, if you
Yeah,
need to,
I thought you were saying like your team does the pallet in an hour. And I'm like, what?
no,
That
no,
doesn't sound.
no, it's one person. Anyway, he was like, yeah. So even though, like on the hours that corporate tells us we need to hit, we're getting everything done. He's like, no, cut 15 minutes off of that. It's like, no, we're not doing that. So everyone just kept working at the same pace, and no one gives a crap.
Yeah,
Because
I wish we could do that.
he can't complain
Uh,
too much if the work's getting done. But the worst thing about it is he pretended like the like grocery manager told him that he has to cut the time down, and I happen to know other people who work in management, and she was like, "Yeah, no, the grocery manager never said that. That's a lie." And I went and told all of the night fillers that. I was like, "Hey, this guy's fucking messing with all you," and all of them hate him already, and that just made them hate him even more. It's like, okay, well, fuck him then.
yeah.
But he's doing things that are trying to get himself fired anyway, like training people in the electric pallet jack when he's legally not allowed to do that, and that could lose him his job.
I found out like right before I left that I technically wasn't allowed to be training people to use the baler.
Wait, really? The Baylor's a. That's not really that big of a deal, is it?
You need to be on the safety team to train someone to use the baler.
Huh.
I'm not on the safety team. I probably trained half the people that know how to use a baler at Big Dub.
Hmm.
Because I learned when I was 15 how to do it from one of the guys who was on the safety team. And then he left. And then I trained everyone else.
I would
And
have thought you
yeah.
guys would have a compactor. That's weird.
Oh yeah. We've got like it's a big compactor baler thingy.
Well, Baylors and compactors are a bit different.
What's the difference?
Um, that's a fucking good question. Baler, when you want to empty it, it'll turn into like a hay bale sort of thing.
Yep,
A
that's
com-
the one.
Okay, and a compactor, basically, it gets compacted down and then gets pushed into a truck.
Yeah, no. So we've got a baler.
Okay, yeah.
We've got to tie it off and become
Yeah,
this
yeah,
big
that's a
bale,
baler.
solid cardboard. Um, yeah, we've got to like retie it and shit. It's real fucking annoying. When I have to do like two bales in a row, like my hands are all fucking torn up to shreds because the bale just like cuts into you.
I'm lucky enough that I've only dealt with coals where they're big enough, where they need to have a compactor, and small enough where a baler isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like if you only go through like 1 or 2 bales a day, like yeah, balers are completely fine then.
Yeah, we go through like 2 a day,
Okay.
but balers. Yeah. But yeah, then like when we've got to get them into the truck, that's real fun because we've got to like just put them on the side and like roll them off.
Yeah, that's not my job. We just put the bales outside and then someone else can deal with it.
Yeah, that's like the garbage truck guy will just like reverse up and be like, "Yep, put them in."
Now that's that. I don't know if that's a day job or if that's just like the baler truck man that does it. Fucked if I know. I'm not there in the morning.
Yeah, we've got a dock guy called Johnny who does all that stuff,
Ah, yeah, okay.
but we'll help him because he's like a relatively old man now. He's like in his 50s.
50s isn't really that old anymore.
Yeah, but like late 50s.
Anyway.
But yeah. Yeah, we've also got like very, very specific rules. Like you can't lift a pallet unless you got someone else lifting it with you. But like when I was there, you pick up the pallet, you put it up on your hip like this, and you just fucking put it up on the stack.
Yeah, I sort of hurt my wrist the other day, and now because everyone in this store just picks up the pallets by themselves, and the management sort of takes it for granted. So I hurt my wrist, and I was just like, okay, I'm just not gonna lift them up. And he was like, oh, can you like lift up the pallets? Like, nope, you can help me. I'm not doing it because you're not allowed to do it, and the man just can't tell you to lift it up like that. If you decide to be a dumbass and do it, that's fine. But so I'm just like, okay, I hurt my wrist. I'm not doing it. They can go on the floor. You can help me if you want them picked up.
Yeah. That just reminded me of a story, but I think I've already told the story on the podcast before.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Okay. Well, I already forgot the story because I already told.
The only story I can think of you told is a shit story.
So it was okay, new name. Another J name.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. So Jeremiah, right? So Jeremiah once is my night field manager at Big Dub was like, it's like I was doing a field shift, like a day field shift. So normally we do night field from like back in the day it was like 7 to 12. I was doing a day field. I was just doing like 1 to 7 just to get everything prepared for night field. So when they came in, all the pallets were down. They were all in the spot they needed to be. The ones that need to be broken down into cages were in cages, and the cages were ready to get run out onto the floor. When I was like very young, when I was like 15, 16, I worked my fucking ass off because I like wanted the job because I wanted money. Now I just kind of not gonna fire me. I worked really hard because I needed the job. I needed money. I wanted to play Warframe. I needed to spend money on platinum.
I needed to open up my wallet and waste money on this fucking game.
That was literally my first paycheck. $80 went straight into platinum on Warframe.
Were you at least waiting for like the discount codes or discount ticket thingies you get on Warframe?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, like I got my paycheck and then immediately there's like a discount. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's go. But yeah, so I did my entire like 6 hours worth of work in 4 hours. And I'm like, Jeremiah, is there anything I can do? And he's like, oh, you can sweep the dock. So I swept the dock in like 10 minutes and it was like spotless. Because I'm like, I sleep at home. Like I know how to use a broom, dude. And then he's like, oh, you can do this thing and then this thing, and I did all those things really quickly. And I'm like, anything else to do? I've got 4 hours left. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. I'm on energy. And he's like, now Nick, technically I can't ask you to go home early.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you can't. It's like, yeah, I'm legally not allowed to ask you to go home early. And I hated Jeremiah. Jeremiah was the worst fucking boss I've ever had.
They can't ask you to go home early?
They can't. Because like I've already been like assigned this shift. I've already signed in. They've got to give me 24 hours notice if they want to change my shift.
That's weird because
So,
yeah, Coles will
so
they're happy to send you home early. That's interesting.
nah, yeah, we need 24 hours.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, and like I hate Jeremiah. He made me clean up a shit. I'm fairly sure I told that story.
Ah,
I'm
yes,
fairly
yes,
sure
you
that's
did.
one of the clip stories. Um, but yeah, he's like, Nick, I can't ask you to go. And so I'm like playing with him. Like I knew what he was asking me. I'm like, oh, I could go home early if you want me to. If you want me to go home early, I can leave now. He's like, Nick, I can't. And I'm like, hey Jeremiah, I finished all my work. Can I go home early? He's like, yeah, sure, you can. Please get out.
I was gonna
Yeah,
ask, did you just like stick around for the next 4 hours or something?
I played with him for like a minute. He kept getting like slower every time he repeated, Nick, I can't ask you to go home early. Like every single time he kept saying it slower and slower. And then I just caved. I'm like, yeah, I'll go home. That's fine. I had my fun.
Oh fuck. There's a few times I have gone home early at Coles. There was one time where I don't know how it happened, but I think we were like 3 or 4 hours ahead, and I was like, I don't want to be here. I got better things to do. I was like, okay, and the manager's like, oh yeah, well, that's fine. Go. We don't need you here anyway. I was like, cool, we can do that. So I think I was trying to get like assignments done at the time anyways. Like fuck it, I've better things to do than be here, and I had done my hours to get my bills and stuff paid that week anyways. Like, eh.
Yeah. But yeah, like on Thursday, like I was trying to get
I'll be back in a
my
sec. Give me 1 sec.
yeah, sure. Guys, if you didn't know, Brody's real name is Brody Robertson. It's true. He doesn't want anyone to know. He thinks it's a really smart pseudonym, but it isn't. Alright, and don't worry, you don't need to edit out the section in the middle there, because I didn't say anything weird to your fans, don't worry.
I'll see how much of it was silent, and I'll leave the rest that wasn't.
Ah, shit.
Anyway, yes. Uh, was there a story you were continuing, or what'd you do?
I said I'm going home, bye, and that was it.
Oh, okay. No, I thought there was I mean, like the story you were saying before. I thought you might have finished that as.
The Baylor one? Yeah, I
I
taught
don't
a
know.
bunch of people how to use a Baylor.
No, I mean
Before
like
that, even?
there was a story that I cut you off as you were about to start
Uh, I don't remember. I started watching YouTube, and my brain has just been wiped clean.
it.
So
Oh boy.
Yandere never just scored banned speedruns.
Speaking of YouTube, I hear you like Gura.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't actually watch Gogura. I have a friend who is into all the VTuber trash. So,
Mm.
but I watched Gorgura before she was Gorgura.
Yes.
I watched her before she was cool.
Yeah, it's sort of like an open secret who Gura is at this point. Like everyone is well aware of who she is.
Yeah. But yeah, I just want her to make music
She did do
because
a
her old music is
cover.
so good.
She do a cover of
Country
Country
Road.
Roads. Yeah.
If you go and look at the original video
Mm-hmm.
at what is it, 49 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
there's just an A in the middle of the screen. For 46 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it prophesied the future.
Oh, I'm waiting for a drunk cover now. That's all we need.
Not drunk, it's blitzed.
Blessed.
Doesn't get drunk. She's a. I was about to say she was a child, but she's not a child. She's like 9,000 years old.
Or 5,000 or 2,000, whatever number she decides today.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, so did I send you the feet pics? No, I didn't. So I All right. So
I
you know how
need
I said Zach?
context.
You know how I was talking about Zach, the guy who forgot how to speak English?
Sure.
Um, so I sent him this picture that you may or may not want to censor for the stream of Gagara that I found on the Gagara Know Your Meme page,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just Gagara with feet, and I sent it to Zach, and I'm like, why the fuck does this exist? And he's like, what? Kawaii shark feet.
Let's see.
And
Can
I'm
I?
like,
Yeah,
you
probably
fucking
shouldn't share that one.
you fucking degenerate. I'm like, Zach, you fucking degenerate. No, protect the lolly and
Protect the
look
lolly.
respectfully. But
We
yeah,
need some sort of original music. Like, we need something. We know she can make shitty music.
yeah.
She just.
Oh, so have you heard Nana's album, Magic Circuit?
I didn't know she had an album. I've only heard her cover of Say So.
Exactly. Her Magic Circuit album
Mm-hmm.
isn't like a meme music album. It's like an actual good album. And Zach, who is a fan of all the trash VTubers, didn't know this either.
What'd you
But
say it
yeah,
was
go
called?
listen to Magic Circuit.
Magic Circuit.
There are two songs that aren't in the album that like are very similar, which is Slip and Quiet Rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Fucking.
fucking love that album.
It's been out for 3 years. Oh, so 2 years?
Yeah,
The fuck? How did I not know about this?
I know. I listen to it all the time. It's a little bit depressing
Mm-hmm.
because when you like read into all the lyrics, it kind of like sounds like the entire album's about breakups.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's how I read into it. You might not read into it the same. But yeah, I love that album. But yeah, and then I actually got to thank you because Zach is really liking Demon Dice now that he knows Demon Dice is a thing.
Yes.
Because yeah, when you sent me the Demon Dice, I think it was Alcatraz you sent me.
Yeah, yeah.
I sent it straight to Zach because he fucking loves Calliope. Is that how her name's actually pronounced?
Okay, so there's a weird thing about Callie's name. So in English it's Calliope, but if you spell it in katakana, it's Calliope.
Calliope. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Calliope.
and she was actually on the Trash Taste podcast the other day with Giguk and the Anime Man. And
yeah, I saw that on Twitter, but I didn't actually watch the Trash Taste podcast.
You should.
Yet.
It's fucking great. Anyway, I guess Sea Dog VA is on there as well, but he's less important. Anyway,
I mean, he's part of Trash Taste.
He is, but also I didn't even know about him until that podcast.
You didn't know about him until it.
No. Anyway,
yeah, I started watching him a bit later than that.
Yeah. They asked her about the name, and yeah, she doesn't know herself. She's like, I didn't think that far ahead.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah, I highly recommend Demon Dice. Alcatraz is an amazing album, but I recommend also going back and listening to some of her old stuff, like Red, Black, and White and American Psycho. Especially American Psycho. It is absolute fucking trash, and I love it.
I just fucking love Gang Gang Kawaii.
Gang Gang Kawaii is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Wait, if I click on this, is Spotify going to try to play it? No, cool. But I also really recommend Speak of the Devil is also good, or Speak of Devil. And Hellbento is also a good one. But basically all of her tracks are good.
Yeah.
I'd say the one that hit me the hardest was You're an Ace Kid. Because that's sort of about... I don't know if you've heard that one or not.
No.
If you no, have you actually gone and listened to much of Demon Dice stuff besides the ones I sent you?
No. So as I was about to say, I have been doing assignments constantly lately. So I have pretty much the only Demon Dice music that I've heard is like I've finished assignments and then I've gone into the Discord and Zach is playing Demon Dice songs. I'm like, yep, that's cool.
You're an Ace Kid is basically about how she realized that she wanted to go and be a rapper, but all of her like fake friends around her was like, hey, you like come out to the parties and do all of this, but she's like, no, I'm dedicated to getting like following my dream and actually becoming something from this. And that song sort of like hit me pretty hard. I really recommend that one if you can listen to nothing else. You're an Ace Kid is amazing.
Alrighty.
But Callie's new stuff is also really good as well.
Yeah, I haven't actually listened to any of Callie's music.
I also not Cardi B, Maury Calliope. We'll see if we can actually keep this podcast going for another 10 minutes before I have to go again. I don't know, we'll probably end it off sometime soon anyway, because we're a bit past 2 hours. Anyway, yes, we're talking about Calliope.
Yeah. So I said I haven't actually listened to any of Calliope's music, and then immediately after you left, I'm like, oh wait, no, I've listened to Excuse My Rudeness, but Can You Please Rip?
That is an amazing track.
Specifically because Zach keeps putting it in the fucking rhythm bot
Mm-hmm.
when we're playing League. But yeah, that's her only song that I've actually heard. Is that the only song she's made?
No, she's got an entire EP she released like her debut week.
Okay. Wait, none like Joshua made a remix of Can You Please Rip?
I think he entered. Yeah, he entered the contest. I think he was one of the.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was one of the top 10 contestants.
Yeah, his video is in the top 15 playlist on her channel.
Okay, that's what you're looking at. Cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, top 15, I guess. But yeah, no, she's got Shitsude Shimasu ga Shinde Kudasai, which is the one you mentioned. Live Again, or Live Again, however you decide to call it.
Weeb.
I know, right? That's her general outro music. Then Deadbeats. Deadbeats is a weird one. I recommend Deadbeats.
Oh yeah, I may have heard Deadbeats. Give me a sec.
And the last one in the original EP is Reaper Rapper. That was her introduction song.
Yeah, I have heard Deadbeats because once again, Rhythmbot Zach. He just pastes entire playlists in the Rhythmbot.
Deadbeats, jerk it now. Deadbeats, jerk it now. Exactly. And then her new track, Cursed Night, is really good as well.
Yeah. I'll have to look at this shit later.
Yeah, you absolutely do.
Yeah. I have to do homework by watching anime girl sing. Oh, damn.
Oh no. How will you ever survive? Now, if you want a really good cover of her contest song, I recommend going listening to Boogie Vox's version.
Boogie Vox?
Yeah, Boogie Vox.
Alright.
They're a rapping VTuber duo, and they decided to not just cover the song, they also wrote some of their own lyrics for it.
Okay.
And holy shit, it's good. I wish it had won, but I think Nyato got first place. Yeah.
I don't know who Nyato is.
Pretty big remixer.
Okay. Good, it's not a VTuber.
No.
I hate VTubers. But yeah, no. I've been very much against Hatsune Miku for ages because it's just it's trash.
Yeah, Ellen Miku's stuff is pretty bad though.
But then when I put the Magic Circuits album into Rhythmbot, Zach's like, wait, this song has Hatsune Miku in it. I thought you hated Miku. And I'm like, shut the fuck up, cunt. This song's good.
But Nyanas.
Nyanas makes it better.
What do you love more? What's more important, your love for Nyanas or your hatred for Miku?
Nyanas. I also, at the same time that I put that good album in, I put in like Everybody in the Club Getting Tipsy and Pump Pump Kimichi. So very sad that she deleted those songs, but you know, we have backups.
The backups will always be saved.
Yeah. Also, it took me like an hour the other day to try and find It's the Nut Shack but it's cute anime girls. Because that video does not exist on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like one video of it, but the audio's been like
Yep,
claimed.
yep.
So I actually like on the claimed audio video, there was a comment with a link to a Facebook post that had it, and I'm like, I finally have this.
Oh,
I
that's
need
great.
this. Wow. Why does she have to like rebrand to remove the N word from all the songs and all of the incest?
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
So what's the deal with your hatred for most of Hollow Live?
Uh, just grown men pretending to be anime girls,
Definitely not grown men. Have you seen?
except for uh Gogura, obviously.
Except for
She's
literally every single one of
blue,
them.
blue gremlin. Yeah.
I'm gonna
No,
send
I
you.
don't know. I just don't like the concept of simping to an anime character that isn't even an anime character.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I simp to
Mm-hmm.
certain anime characters, especially Christina. She's the best anime character
Mm-hmm.
ever. Don't at me. Um, but like just human beings that think they're anime characters, ooh yucky.
Nah, it's fun. You're missing out. You're gonna miss out on the big wave of VTubers taking over YouTube.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I did try to join Gogura's Minecraft stream like 2 days ago, and like, oh no, it wasn't Minecraft. It was she was doing singing. It was the stream that the Country Roads cover came from,
Mhm.
and like right as I joined the stream, it was like, all right, thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah, I
As
did the same
always,
thing.
it's like no, I've been waiting all this time for Gogura to put out music, and now that she's got a fucking stream, I'm
But
gone.
the Clippers are at it. The Clippers have everything saved.
Yeah, and Gogura's got all her VODs uploaded on YouTube, so
Well,
I
certain
could
streams
just
are
watch the VOD.
unarchived. Like I
Oh,
can't imagine that one's archived. Typically,
let's
the
have a look.
singing streams aren't archived, so they can actually do songs that they would get copyright claimed for.
Possibly. Yeah.
Because in
Actually, it is not there.
yeah, I think because what did Kiara do in her first one? I know she did some things that would definitely get copyright claimed. Oh, she did Bluebird, one of the Naruto openings.
Oh yeah. Is that the good opening? Is that the first rank opening?
Which one?
Is Bluebird the fifth rank one?
I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
not. What Da 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 da. Wait, that's
Oh,
not even the fucking. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da.
oh, oh. I know which one you're talking about.
I'm just gonna like look up Filthy Frank Naruto and
See, I'm gonna get copyright claim if I do that.
actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go into it's in my fucking Weeb Last Shit playlist. It'll be the one Naruto opening in here. It is not in here apparently. Maybe the video that I had in there got claimed because like half
Rip.
the video in my Weeb Last Shit playlist is claimed.
No, the best Naruto opening is Distance. Just Google the Naruto Distance. Can the first fucking 2 seconds tell me you don't love it?
I don't love it
You are my friend. No he no you man. How can you not love it?
because I just don't like it. It's
It's
not hype
trash.
enough.
It's trash. It's great.
Exactly, it's bad.
but it's not the first Naruto opening. Rocks. Great song. Absolutely love it. I need to go finish Naruto. I'm still on the fucking tuning exam. That's how early in Naruto I am.
Yeah, I don't watch trash anime. I mean,
That's no fun.
okay, correction. I watch Sword Art Online, but I don't watch other trash anime.
Speaking of SAO, did you see the trailer for Progressive?
Progressive. I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I
I did send you that link saying, "Hey, Progressive is getting adapted." Woo!
Yeah, we all thought it was going to be a series, but it's going to be a movie.
A movie.
Like, it's going to look good, but I wish that Progressive got a series. Sorry.
Yeah. Great. No new footage. It's all just. Actually, oh no, wait, no, that rain scene might be new.
No, it's all new stuff. It's just the exact same scenes, just redone.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it looks like stuff we've seen before.
Also, Arsena is
But yeah.
considerably more important now, which is good.
What? She was really important before. She died at the end, remember? That was the most important thing she ever did.
Arsena was like a side character at best for most of Aincrad.
Yeah.
And then, like, there was basically no explanation for why they fell in love. It's just like, oh yeah, they like each other now. That's cool.
We watched a guy die together. That's love, right?
2 years worth of semen.
Oh, I love that. I said that to one of my mates the other day when we were talking about Sword Art Online, and he didn't know what it was, and I got to explain it to him.
For anyone who doesn't know, look up Sword Art Online chapter 16.5 or 12.5. What is it? I don't remember.
16.5.
Yeah. Basically, it's the scene where Asuna and Kirito fucked, but it's explained in weird detail. Like 2.5 years of semen flowed into Asuna.
Yeah. And like, that isn't how semen works.
No.
It doesn't just build up constantly. It builds up to a max in like a day.
Also, I don't know what, like, how much performance you get inside of a video game. I imagine like you can probably customize that. Maybe that's part of your character creation.
Yeah. I mean, as well, like, it's inside the game, and he implemented cum.
Yeah. So basically, Kirito just nutted in his bed.
Yeah. Or like, if he didn't, fine tune the sex system in his children's video game that he made, like if he didn't fine tune it enough, Kirito could be ejaculating before Kazuto Kirigaya ejaculates. Or after. Either or would be terrible.
I think there was an explanation for why that system existed in the game. I don't remember what it was. I think there was like supposed to be brothels or something in the game.
Yeah, I didn't read the entire thing. I read like the first like 200 or 300 words, and then skipped to the end to see the 2 years of unused semen made a glooping sound as it.
Yeah, the glooping sound's also important.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna find the exact.
I gotta look it up now. I have to look it up now.
SAO 16.5.
Oh yeah, Wattpad. Let's go.
Yeah. You found the same one I did. If I just search for semen, will that show up?
You got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, or else it doesn't.
It's one of those websites.
2 years worth of semen made a glopping noise as it flowed endlessly into Asuna. Every time my penis twitched, fireworks would go off in my head. Also, yeah, it's written from first person.
Oh,
but yeah,
God.
but now that we're talking about it, for those of you who haven't looked it up yet, chapter 16.5 is a unofficial official chapter.
I don't think it's ever been confirmed.
It was written by Reki Kawahara, but it was published on a fan site, not as an actual book. So written by the author, kind of makes it official. Also, it's written in first person from Kirito's perspective. So Reki Kawahara kind of really wanted to fuck Asuna, which is the character that he wrote.
I'm just reading parts of this, and I'm okay. I'm gonna put it on the screen. Like, just read some of this if you want to. I'm not gonna read it out because I might get claimed. Claimed. I might get fucking yeeted off of YouTube. Asuna threw her body back while drawing out the last part of her sentence as she violently convulsed 3 times. I was in no position to pause and admire the sight of Asuna with her eyes scrunched closed and her teeth gritted together, looking incredibly cute, like horribly glued. All at the same time. I'm not going to read the rest. I'll just highlight this part. If you want to read this, feel free to do so. Just God, this fucking chapter is amazing. Also, there's lots of explanation about noises and stuff.
Yes, let it out. Kirito, let out a lot.
Also, Kirito is kind of an absolute fucking lad, screaming loudly, Asuna climax for the second time. And this is only like 3/4 of the way through. This is before the 2 years worth of semen. This is... Oh, here we go. They plan to use SAO systems in order to provide a personal sex service. Yeah, so basically there was going to be brothels in the game.
Okay.
Which is canon. That is actually canon. That's the funny thing. Half canon, I guess.
Yeah.
God. Oh, this fucking game. SEO as a game doesn't make any sense, and yeah, it's a great series though.
I would play it.
I would play it, but it just couldn't exist. It's simply the systems don't make any sense. But if we do get something at SEO level in my life,
did you know true love can break admin paralysis?
Yeah, there's also that. Yeah, if you haven't seen SEO, the last fucking scene of Aincrad makes no sense. But that sort of happens a lot of the time throughout the series. Like, actually, no. After Fairy Dance, I guess it starts to make it more sense, because the same sort of bullshit happened in Fairy Dance. And then also Kirito had the admin password as well. So he's like, oh, fuck it, I have an admin password. Why didn't I use it earlier?
The admin password is the name of the guy that I just killed, Heathcliff. That's the password.
Yeah. Wait, I just realized something. So Heathcliff's account, Reki Kawahara, had admin privileges. So
not Reki Kawahara.
No, Reki Kawahara. No, it's just a self-insert.
Yeah.
What the fuck's the antagonist name? Reki Kawahara's the writer.
I'm googling it right now.
Anyway.
Akiko Kaiba.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, Kirito's a self-insert. Anyway, whatever. The name of the antagonist.
Kaiba.
His account, Heathcliff. The username was Heathcliff, and the password was Heathcliff.
I don't know if it had a password on it.
Well, no, I don't know. His account
in the final episode of the first season, he just says log in Heathcliff, and that's it. He doesn't say a password.
That's fair. Maybe there's like password. Or at least,
I believe that may have been the dub at the time that I watched, because that was like my first anime that I watched. So it may have just been that the dub didn't have a password in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or it may have been an anime-only thing, and the light novel had a password. But
I don't recall there being a password, but I can't imagine a game like this would not have a password. But if he did, his username was Heathcliff, his password was Heathcliff.
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant. This dude who made this massive game just set the dumbest password imaginable.
Not only made a game engine that automatically makes games.
Yeah, well, the seed system doesn't make any sense either.
Set the highest level of admin access for every single game in existence to Heathcliff. Because it's a different game that he logs into Heathcliff with. Imagine he like puts on, like from the movie where they had the like little eye patch thing.
Mm.
He just says there, log in Heathcliff. Now I have creative flight.
I want
How fucking stupid was the movie? Because like
the
everyone's
fuck. What was it called? The non-canon movie. You're talking about that one?
no, the canon one, Ordinal Scale.
That's not canon.
That's not canon.
No, it's. I don't think so. That's not a light novel
I'm
adaptation, at least.
I'm fairly sure it's canon though,
It's.
because they have those eye devices in the like last episode of Alicization.
It might just be anime canon then.
Maybe.
Anyway, yes. Ordinal
Yes,
Scale, fucking
apparently
dumb
the canon is
series, a dumb movie.
apparently yeah, Ordinal Scale is canon to the continuity of the anime and the light novel.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, it was so dumb because like these are not real things that are in the real world that like are making wind.
Mm-hmm.
Is like are they like the robots from the new Spider-Man movie?
Well, who would actually play this game? That's the weirdest thing. The people who'd be like fucking nerdy enough to do it are not going to be fit enough to actually play this game. But you see some people running around in this game, especially like
Yeah.
Kirito, and like this dude, you fucking like play VR games all day, literally all day. You would not have this much energy.
Like if he played actual VR games where he has to actually move around, like he's playing Beat Saber, you gotta like swing your arms real fucking hard to play Beat Saber. But he's playing a full dive game where his body is in a catatonic state.
Mm-hmm.
Nah. But yeah, I also love. Have you watched Alicization all the way through?
I've watched the first season of Alicization.
Okay. Well, I won't spoil the very end for you. But yeah, there's just like, there's just stupid shit.
I need
I
to
don't
go
like
watch it.
Oh wait, so you've finished up to the point where they get to the top of the tower?
I've seen up to the point where Sinon joins the game, or was it Leafa? Whoever joined the game.
Oh, that's not the first season. That's the second season.
No,
Alicization.
no, it
That's-
happened right
that's-
at the end.
Okay, yeah, yeah. So
Like literally, that happened, and then it was like, oh, season's over now.
yeah. So that's technically there's like three seasons for Alicization because there's Alicization War of Underworld, and then
Oh,
Alicization
sorry,
War of Underworld.
sorry, season 2 then. Yeah, my bad. I completely forgot about when Yu-Gi-Oh was around.
Yeah, but yeah, I just love War of Underworld because Kirito's in a coma.
It's so fucking good. I love this arc.
Yeah.
And then the harem still fights over him.
Yeah. Yeah, like the two girls that like him and Yu-Gi-Oh trained, just like simping over him while he's
Oh,
asleep.
to be fair, okay, with the girl who was simping over Yu-Gi-Oh before, she's sort of just there because Kirito was also like a great teacher, not because like she's still desperately in love with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
But the other girl, yeah, the one who looks like his sister,
Yeah.
because
Are you watching Sword Art Online Abridged?
no, I've watched up until one of the really early episodes. Like I don't remember when I stopped, but should I go back and watch it?
Yeah, it fixes all of the character flaws that exist in Sword Art Online.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely memey for the first like 4 or 5 episodes, and then it becomes kind of more like actual series kind of stuff.
The last thing I recall watching is the episode with Silica, where they're on the bridge and Kirito's like, yeah, I'm like actually fucking OP. You can't do anything to me.
Silica. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
real early.
My numbers and yours. I heal faster. My wounds heal faster than you can make them.
That's
I fucking love that scene.
one of the few things in the game that actually made sense. Like, yeah, this is how MMOs work. Kirito was so fucking over-leveled. Like, I don't know. I think he was supposed to be at level like 50 or something at that point, or 40. Everyone else was at like a regular level.
Yeah, they were like level 15 or something, and he's like 80. Yeah, but yeah, no. So they're up to the point in is Fairy Dance second arc?
Yes, Fairy Dance's second arc.
Yeah, so they're up to the point in Fairy Dance where Kirito and Leafa just got to Leafa's hometown.
Okay, yep.
But yeah, like they've like removed the incest subplot. Uh, and so now instead of there being, oh, I don't know it's my brother, but I'm in love with him. It's
Hmm.
like, oh, wait, I know it's my brother. He's trying to trick me because he thinks that I'm a girl who's into really weird girly shit. He's trying to fucking yeah. And so that's what the subplot is instead of this subplot.
But
And it's
every
actually
female
good.
in SAO needs to want to fuck Kirito because it's a self-insert,
Yeah.
as is demonstrated
But
by
I think
16.5.
I think Leafa is like the worst out of the harem because it's
Yeah.
like everyone else like has kind of has a reason to simp over Kirito because
Hmm.
in FAO like your life was actually on the line
Hmm.
and this guy actually saves your life
Yeah.
many times over. And then it was like, oh no, three guys in a video game were like gonna kill me, and I was gonna have to respawn.
Yeah, like
And then you
Silica
save
makes
me, and I'm in love
sense.
with you.
That Silica makes perfect sense. Arsena, fine, sure. Lisbeth, also fine. All of them actually had their lives saved. Um, Sinon I get because they actually were kind of close. Like,
Yeah, and that was like, it's probably even more okay for Sinon to like Kirito because in that
oh,
game,
also, yeah, that
like,
was the scene right at the end as well. I forgot about that. But the
yeah, but like that was you weren't supposed to be able to die in that game. Like in Sword Art Online, everyone already knew the stakes. Everyone knew they could die at any point.
mhm.
But in Gun Gale, it was like Silica. Yes, Silica. Not Silica. Fuck,
Sinon.
Sinon. Was like this guy might be in my house right now.
Hmm.
You can't like let him shoot me. Don't do it.
Hmm. And then
Um,
obviously once we move on to Alicization, they don't realize they're in a game.
yeah,
And they actually do die if they die anyway, because they're yeah.
yeah. That light cube just goes. "Brrrr." I don't know why. I don't know why the people who made the system didn't just like, oh, the character died. Okay, well here's a backup of their light cube.
Nope, too hard.
Like they're doing all this like hundreds of years of iterations to try and get the perfect cube. But then
Hmm.
if that character dies, the cube wipes itself. Like, what?
Yep,
Why do that?
we're able to save human intelligence as data, but we don't know how to back it up.
Yeah. Or like the thing I don't get about Alicization is it's like, oh yeah, we made this incredibly advanced system that if you go inside of it and fuck, you can make a real baby. But we can't just click a button and make a real baby. We have to get actual people to play as virtual characters.
Well, no, the other thing that doesn't make sense is what was her name? The antagonist of the first arc of Alicization?
There was an antagonist in the first arc? Oh, the Pontifex.
Yeah, yeah. Who leveled her way up to being admin.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, like she just that would kind of made sense because like they're stupid idiots and they designed their system to not have admin access. It was just anyone could just say list admin commands or whatever the command was. And like she knew that like the magic was like by saying words, so
Hmm.
she just said every set of words possible in every single order possible, and
Hmm.
then eventually landed on list admin commands.
This
And I was
game
like,
didn't
ooh.
make any sense. Why did it? Like they have admin accounts. That's the dumbest thing. Like they had their god accounts, but they just let everyone use the commands.
Yeah, also they have like admin accounts
Admin accounts, quote
that are
unquote.
like actual gods that have no password on them.
The security in this secret military operation is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and they can't just make a new account. Like when they're in that fight, they can't just make a new account.
Oh yeah, they're like, oh, we don't have one that's leveled up enough. Like, what are you talking about? What does that mean?
That level equal to 199. Like, just do it. No, we have to have people go in and play the video game.
SEOs. I love how trashy it is, but if you just turn your mind off and enjoy it, it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. But you have to turn your mind off. You can't just like turn your mind down. It's gotta go like all the way off.
Yes, not as. I feel like you have to turn your mind off less when you watch something like High School DD because you go into that knowing what it is. You're
It's
like
trashy, not porn.
The main character. I don't know how far if you've watched the newer seasons.
I watched the first season and
Okay.
I cringed too hard to watch.
You need to watch. No, you need to watch Born and just watch the newer seasons because now the main character he can like use his full like transformation dragon form thingy, and
oh yeah, I actually saw a GIF today or yesterday that I assumed was DD because it was like full dragon, and it was just like chibi style, like boobies.
Yeah, well, at the start of I think season 3 or something, basically he like pokes Rias's breast to get a power upgrade. Like that's the sort of season or series you're watching now.
Yeah.
So you don't that's going to be dumb.
Yeah. Then you go into SAO and you're like when you look at SNA, like if you come into it knowing what a video game is, you're gonna have a bad time.
I think
forget what video games are, forget what computers are.
The problem with early SAO is that Reki started writing it, I think he was 16 when the web novel came out. 15 or 16. Yeah. And that's why you get these weird self-inserts where he wants to sleep with Asuna.
Yeah.
Because he was a horny teenager who wanted to sleep with Asuna. And this is why, like, Alicization is... Like, honestly, if you just start reading SAO from Volume 9, it's so much better. The rest of it doesn't matter. I think 8 or not, whenever Alicization starts, I think it's 9, but it could be 8. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes?
I thought 1 to 8 was just the first arc.
No, 1 to 2 is the first arc.
I thought... Really?
Yes.
I swore someone told me that like volume like 1, 3, 5, and 8 make up the Aincrad arc.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, what's happened there is the side story volumes.
Okay.
So 1 and 2 are actually in it, and then 8 is a side story. I think the Christmas episode that was part of the side stories.
Okay.
You know, the one where
the one where it's like, hey, you want your girlfriend back? Ha ha, lol jokes.
Yeah, that one.
It was a fucking hat.
Ah.
That was from the
I have seen that one.
And here he comes now, the patron saint of prostitutes. Look it up. I thought
A Bridge honestly takes the original series and makes it so it takes it to the level of dumb that it needed to be for how dumb Reki was at the time.
Yeah. There's this video on YouTube called like most quotable lines of SAO, and I'm like, man, why isn't this every single line mentioned in the entire series? Because like I can quote the majority of SAO abridged.
Abridging sort of died down in the past couple of years. It's kind of sad.
Yeah, because it's you get claimed and then you just make no money, and then yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged used to release so often. Now they release like one episode a year. Have you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged?
I've watched the only Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged I can think of is the movie because everyone's seen the abridged movie.
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah. Is that the one with Jaden and all the other characters? All of the
Jaden, Yugi, and Yusei.
Yeah, and Yugi all together.
Yeah.
Synchro what?
Synchro summon. What summon? Synchro. Summon. What? It's where you play a master. Oh wait, I seem to have stopped caring.
The game's gotten worse since then. For some reason, Yu-Gi-Oh videos showed over my recommended. Holy crap, the game doesn't make any sense now.
Yeah, there was a point where all I had was an iPod when I was young, and the only song I had on my phone was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge Series movie.
Mm-hmm.
I had the first like 5 minutes memorized with the timing.
Fuck.
I can still quote the majority of the movie.
I need to go back and watch that. It was
I
a
don't
lot
know
of
all the
fun.
songs.
I want to see if it how badly it's aged.
It's no longer available. I don't think I can send it to you though.
I can find it.
I downloaded.
I have the internet.
I don't think it's on his channel anymore because he split it into like 3 videos,
Mm-hmm.
and only the first 2 videos are still up. The third video got taken down. Unless they've
It'll be available somewhere.
back up. Oh wait, no, it's back.
Cool.
Yeah. 1, 2, and 3 are all back up now.
Cool.
But yeah, I originally like downloaded part 1 and part 2, and I had to go to somewhere else to get part 3. So it goes from like 1080p, 1080p, 720p. Because I like edited it into one video.
Fuck, this came out a long time ago.
9 years ago, yeah. Good movie though.
Fucking good movie. I don't know if the actual movie's good, but the bridges.
I watched it after I watched this. It's like 3 hours long, and it's just
3 hours of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Not very good. Yeah, it's not very good. But yeah, though, I've watched like the actual like the latest Yu-Gi-Oh movie where they actually bring back Yami, but Yami comes back for like 20 seconds. They spend like the entire movie being like, no, the Pharaoh has passed on. He can't hear you anymore, Kaiba. And then Kaiba's like, no, he will come back, and I will duel him, and I will beat him.
That's a really good Kaiba impression.
Yeah, but yeah. So so he comes back and it's like, you, Yami, yes, you are here finally. And then he's like, yeet, and just walked away.
I say it's good, but it's like good at the abridged level of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, I can't do any impressions good.
Oh no, I did actually watch Yu-Gi-Oh! The abridged series. Yeah, no, I did. I completely forgot. Yeah. I think I watched most of it actually.
Yeah, I've watched all of it, I think, because he hasn't uploaded a new episode.
I probably watched all of it at the time. But that's fun.
Let's have a look. When was the last actual abridged episode uploaded? 1 year ago.
Ooh.
Last episode was 1st of December 2018.
Jeez.
That seems wrong. Yeah, nope. 1st of December 2018.
It might be a re-upload or something, I don't know. I feel like I watched it before that point. But my sense of time is fucked right now.
Yeah. No, yeah, that is the latest episode.
Okay.
But yeah, like that's the most current episode. It started fucking like 15 years ago or something.
Ah, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
The very first episode. So the first episode that is actually up on the channel is episode 31, which was 12 years ago. So there are like 30 episodes that are just either gone or on a different channel.
You'll find them uploaded somewhere, even if they're not on the Little Creepo channel.
Yeah, this is okay. No, so the very first episode was 29th of April 2009.
Holy shit, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Or maybe that was just the re-upload. Let's have a look at 31 now. Yeah, no, so that one was uploaded in 2009. Episode 31 was uploaded in 2008.
Fuck.
So the first episodes would have been re-uploaded, which means the first episodes would have probably been even earlier than that, possibly 2007.
Jesus Christ. We're getting old.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, someone born in 2004 will be... Actually, no, sorry. Someone born in 2002 will be 18.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it is weird.
I saw this thing on Twitter, and it was like, did you know people born in 2001 are 23? It's like, no, no, they're not.
People that can't do maths, they'll believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. We have been going for 2 hours and 47 minutes. If I minus the time I've left, probably about 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Let's...
This is what we did last time. Last time we had like a 4-hour episode, didn't we?
I don't know.
Or 3.5 hours or something. It was
But
long.
I want to go get a haircut because my hair's getting too long today, so... I think we'll...
Yeah, makes sense.
You have the opposite problem.
Yeah.
So I think we'll start wrapping it up there.
Unless you want to talk about my hair.
If you want to take your hat off.
Yeah. Okay. So I used to have really long hair. Well, not really long, but like big hair.
Mhm.
And I always wanted to do something with it, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided I wanted to have a fucking man bun.
Oh,
So
God.
I'm gonna have a man bun all the way at the back here.
Oh, God.
It doesn't not long enough to do it yet, so I'm wearing a hat constantly. So I won't be able to hear you, so I'm just gonna change my output to my speakers real quick. This one. Talk now.
Hello.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, it's not... That's good. It's not feeding back in.
Yeah. So it's been in a hat all day, so it's kind of shit, but yeah. So I've got hair on the top and then nothing on the sides, pretty much. It's supposed to be a fade on the side, but the fade has grown out. But yeah, I'm gonna have it tied all the way back here.
Why? Why are you doing that?
Because I saw what's her name? Female character from Dungeons and Dragons Critical Role do it, and now I want to do it.
Sure. Okay.
Beauregard from Critical Role D&D.
Mm-hmm.
And now I want that haircut.
I disapprove. I disavow.
Yeah, everyone does. Don't worry, you're not the only one. Everyone that I've talked to over the last several weeks has said, "No, why?"
It's fine. It's your head. Do what you want. I don't actually care enough. I might laugh at you, but apart from that, I don't actually care.
I mean, you can laugh at me all you want, but like, I've seen your hair, so
yeah, that's fair. I will go get a haircut in I don't know, when I have some lunch.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you have anything you want to shout out?
The same people I shouted out last time, probably. Dingo Doodles. Oh wait. Am I shouting out me or am I shouting out?
Yeah, shout out yourself first, and then we'll do
me first. Okay.
Channels.
I have a YouTube channel. I've posted a video, and it was posted like 5 years ago. Go subscribe to me. 1R1SHMAN04. Don't actually do that. Why would you do that? I'm not gonna post ever. Yeah, I don't really have anything to shout out because I don't really have social media.
Oh, yeah.
Like I have accounts, but like I don't post.
We have greatest win in competitive history. Have you heard of the May Ice Wall strategy? That's 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's
Day of the Undead. That was the.
Oh, that's the public video. That should be private.
That was from the VR course.
Yeah.
Oh, VR, not
that wasn't VR.
Android.
That was,
sorry, not VR.
Android.
What was I saying? And then immersive engineering pump jack working. Because the pump jack wouldn't work, so I made a cheat that made it work. Okay.
So in Minecraft, the pump jack would pump once, and then be like, I don't have access to oil, so I can't keep pumping.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a thing that continuously broke and replaced the pump jack so that it would pump that one time and then break and then pump again
Oh my god.
to get oil. But yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, nah, nothing really for me because I don't do shit. But if you want to watch some good Dungeons and Dragons content, Dingo Doodles is an animator. She is currently doing a Fool's Gold campaign that is very good, very fun to watch. As well as Z Bashu and Puffin Forest, they both do D&D animations. And my mate has just made his brand new YouTube channel where he does Linux tutorials. He's a very small creator.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Brody Robertson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never heard of him. Sounds like a bit of a douche.
Yeah, he is a bit of a douche, but he deserves your follow. So just go and subscribe to him. I'm subscribed to him. I watch. I've seen a video of his.
Go watch my video on Big Sur being a fucking absolute surveillance nightmare. That's the new version of macOS. It's tracking everything you do, and people don't like that I said that. Because there's a blog post that says
the your computer isn't yours video.
Yep. There's a blog post that's like, oh, that's not actually what's happening, and the guy who that was a reply to was like, no, this reply is completely wrong and has no idea what he's talking about, and no one's actually gone back and read the reply to the reply. So everyone's like, oh, it's all good. Apple said it's fine. This guy said it's fine, and this guy's like, and the first guy was like, okay, no, it's not fine. What are you doing? Stop. This is bad. Stop buying Apple products. Anyway, as for me, I'm going to say you should go watch Trevor Wallace. Trevor Wallace is a fucking comedic genius. He does sketch comedy. And so we've got some good examples like the first guy to rob a bank after COVID. And every guy after morning sex. Or mums when you're 1 minute past curfew. Basically, it's just really good sketch comedy, and I really recommend him. Also, I recommend you look at his face and tell me he doesn't look like Jai.
Okay, sure. So talking about how I haven't watched any of your videos.
Yes.
So I have 154 of your videos in my watch later, but my watch later is 1,801 videos long.
I think that's not a watch later anymore.
Yeah, it got down to like 1,500, and that was when the semester started.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped having time to watch them, and my phone kept saying, "Hey, new video uploaded. You should watch the video." And I'm like, "Oh, later."
And then the later never came.
Later never came.
Lovely. I know the feeling. I've got a bunch of video topics I need to read through and see if they're decent, and I've got like 7,000 things on the list.
Yeah,
most
but also
won't be.
this is the picture that I said I was going to show you like 2 hours ago that you can probably just edit into the thing. But yeah, spin them. Zach just fell over. So
anyone still watching at this point doesn't have any idea what the context is. Probably they've completely forgot.
Spin him. Zach fell over because he forgot to speak English. He forgot how to speak English because he was drinking wine. Little piss baby.
So we good? You got nothing else you want to say?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. I'm gonna go thank my supporters, wherever my list of supporters is. That wrong document, that one. So a special thank you to Chris, Joachim, Donald, Corbinian, Andre, Nathan, Monster, Chico Bento, Joseph, Mitchell, Peter Road, Tony, and all of the $2 patrons. If you want to go watch my regular videos where they're considerably more planned and not as rambly as this, then go check out the Brody Robertson channel. I do Linux content and general tech news, I guess. If you're watching the audio version of this, the video version is available on YouTube, Library, and Odyssey, and the audio version is available basically anywhere you can listen to audio podcasts. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. What do you want to say to close off the video?
Thanks for watching, everyone, and go subscribe to Brody. He makes content. I assume it's good content.
I do make content, I can confirm.
He hasn't quit yet, so someone's going to be watching it.
Sure, that great
I'm sorry.
ringing recommendation. Oh,
He's a good guy. Give him your watch.
well, this has
He
been
deserves it.
this has been a fun 3-ish hours.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time there's not as many break stuff to happen, but apart from that, I felt like it's been fun. So yeah, I guess we'll go.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Oh, that fucking hurt my wrist. I really need to do something about that.